Hey y'all, what's up? Happy Sunday.
Here.
How y'all doing? I finally made it back so we can chit chat.
Adults from ages 15 to 19, the fertility rate is down 7%, meaning we're telling people that are young not to have babies. Did Fox News just say?
Child, I'm so sick of these people. How y'all doing? How's everybody doing this Sunday? Y'all been paying attention to the news? Thank you for the heart me. Thank you, thank you. And y'all been paying attention to what's been going on. Let's chit chat, okay? Chitter chatter out here in the streets. Hold on, y'all. Let me move this. There we go. Ooh, there we go. Let's see. You said I'm the goat. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Give me housekeeping, 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 housekeeping. Give me the housekeeper so I can test the delay. Side note, if y'all don't have metal straws, like what are you doing in your life? Especially if you want something cold or if you want something hot, whatever the temperature is, it's going to amplify it. Child. I switched over to these things a few years ago. I love them. Am I on the West Coast? Nope. Mm-mm. I'm Central. Why is it so hard for me to see the comments today? What is going on? Thank you for the housekeeping. Thank you very much. I appreciate you greatly. Oh, thank you for my paper crane, Nina. What is happening? I guess it's blending. I gotta lean over. Y'all's comments are bleeding into the back of my chair, and it's hard. Thank you for my little drink, Nina. That's cute. Cheers. Clink, clink, clink. So I know y'all, this little clear protein, I'm into it. That's right. Comment and like the live. Okay. So where do y'all want to start at? Do y'all remember? Oh, everybody please share and invite. Share, invite, tap the screen, all of that. Y'all know last time I was live, they gave me a bunch of violations. So I'm not gonna show up on the FYP. So I need everybody to tap the screen and share the live. Okay. Um, let's see. On news notes, let's do a 48-hour update so everybody knows what is happening. And then we can talk about money some more and more specifically making more money. Does that sound good? Does that sound good to everybody? Also, FYI, y'all give me the hay. Thank you. Y'all give me the hay. God haze, please, because that's who gave me the gifts of business, beautification, hospitality. And please ignore the gaps in my lashes. I need to get them done. I'll probably do them when I get off of here, or maybe in the morning when I get up. It's time though. I was trying to wait. There's a new style that I've been waiting to come in. So I just been patching them up with like the short term glue. You know, some of the lash glue is designed to only last like 3-4 days max because I don't want to put my stronghold on this that lasts for 2 weeks because I really am excited about this other style that's coming in. Anyway, um, hey y'all, let's see if I move this down. That kind of helps because I can see the comments better. I know it's annoying for y'all though. I don't know. Me in this chair, baby. This is a whole situation. Maybe that's why I had my stand where I had it at. I had it back a little bit further. This is crazy though. Them bleeding out the comments bleeding into my chair. Anyway, thank you for the housekeeping. So housekeeping number one, for those of you that don't know, on Saturday I'm doing a workshop. It's a part of my 7-day strategy, and this will Part one is focused specifically on just how to attract buyers and how to attract buyers quickly. Okay. Lots of buyers to your page. A lot of y'all have offers. Some of y'all have products. Some of y'all have memberships. Some of y'all have digital products. Some of y'all have services. Some of y'all want to be affiliate marketers, whatever it is that you want. But some of y'all already have funnels and stuff set up, but you are struggling to attract buyers online. Okay. And no system is going to work. No product is going to work. No offer is going to work when you, when you can't attract a buyer. Okay. So that's what we're doing Saturday. So if you're a person and you know you need to make more money, register for the workshop on Saturday. Okay. The price is going up tomorrow. I told y'all the price was going up this weekend. And so, I meant what I said. So it normally is $997 to come to the workshop, and I made the tickets $97. So if you go check my bio, you'll see a button, you'll see a VIP, and you'll see a regular admission. Okay, do what you need to do to come to the workshop, because when I say things are going to get higher and higher, they're going to keep getting higher. So let me see if I can find this piece from PBS, and so I can get it lined up to play when we get done with the 48-hour update. Is everybody up to date with the blockade? Yay or nay? If you're up to date with the blockade, give me the number 1. If you are like, you don't know what's going on with the blockade, give me the number 2. Number 1 if you know, number 2 if you don't. 1 if you know, number 2 if you don't. 1 if you know, 2 if you don't know, 1 if you know, 2 if you don't know. Okay. I see the ones. Oh, I see a few 2s. Okay, I see a few 2s. Okay, I'm seeing more 2s. Okay, it looks like we're like 50-50. Okay, so basically, y'all know the Strait of Hormuz is shut down, right? And Iran has been, and y'all please make sure y'all are working the comments and tapping the screen. And make sure y'all are sharing. Try and help me not get violations. When I talk about the news, they like to come over here and mess on my page. Okay. So anyway, the Strait of Hormuz has been shut down. This is week number 5, if I'm not mistaken. And the Strait of Hormuz is important because like our fertilizer goes through there. Some of the active ingredients for medicines go through there, and gas goes through there. Okay. Oil and natural gas, they go through that strait for like all over the world. Okay. So basically on February 28th, Big Orange and them decided, Big Orange got with Nettie Net and decided he was going to kabloom, boom, boom, pow, Iran, while they were supposed to be in negotiations, peace negotiations. Okay. Now, this leads to the strait being shut down. I don't know if y'all remember me telling y'all this, that even though ships weren't going out to other countries, they had always kept letting the ships go to China, okay? Because China and Iran are they're in alignment, okay? They're in allegiance, all right? They're allies with one another. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down? So there's been a lot of fighting and stuff like that. Y'all know we've been covering all of that, okay? Big Orange and Nettie Net tried to force Iran to open the Strait of Hormuz, and they were like, we ain't got to do nothing. Okay. And as a matter of fact, we're going to start charging a toll, and we're going to charge $2 million for all of the ships that we let flow through. Okay. And on top of that, they don't let all the countries come through. It's just like if they called you or you worked out a deal, they're like, you can come through. And on top of that, the toll has to be paid in yuans. Yuans are Chinese currency, not the American money. Okay. So then Big Orange gets up last week and he's like, oh, well, maybe we can work a deal with Iran and they can cut us in on part of the profits for the toll. And Iran is like, have you lost your ever loving mind? Okay. They like what? Like they like, is you cool? Like, is you cool or not? Okay, clearly America is not cool, right? So then there's this ceasefire, and I was like, y'all, it ain't no ceasing of the fire. Now, before the ceasefire came, before Big Orange was like, there's a ceasefire, Iran had put out this 10-point plan, and y'all remember I've been telling y'all, like, Iran has a list of what they would like to happen in order to consider reopening the strait and things going back to normal. Okay. One of the biggest things that was inside of this 10-point plan was that America and It's Not Real had to leave them alone, had to leave alone the Houthis, had to leave alone Hezbollah, and there's like some IRGC-backed groups in Iraq. There was like, you got to leave them alone. And unless you leave them alone, like that, we're not even going to consider negotiating with you. Okay. So Big Orange is like, yeah, we got a ceasefire working. We're going to be able to make a deal, blah, 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 blah. Y'all please work my comments and go crazy with the taps. And if y'all can send little 1-cent gifts right now, this would be a good time because the app is not going to like what I'm about to say, even though what I'm about to say is true. Okay. So during this time, Big Orange comes out. He's like, yeah, we're going to get into the negotiations. Okay. And I was like, in my brain, I already know that this is BS because I know what America is going to pull. They're going to turn around and It's Not Real is going to kick up some ruckus because that's what It's Not Real always does because they do not want peace. If y'all go Google Greater Is Not Real. Okay. I want to show it to you, but y'all remember the last time I had pulled up the map, they came in here and hit me with the violations. Okay. But this is very real. You can see several press conferences of Nettie Net holding up the map of Greater Is Not Real. Okay. Greater Is Not Real is supposed to take up from the Egypt to the Euphrates. Okay. So that means it would take Lebanon. Okay. It would, and please keep in mind, It's Not Real. They have already started occupying Lebanon, and there's 1.2 million people in Lebanon that are displaced. And when the ceasefire was announced within 30 minutes, It's Not Real, Lebanon. So, of course, Iran is not going to agree to a ceasefire because here we are trying to be amicable and y'all are over here on your F-ish again. So then Big Orange, okay, gets up on him with his little Truth Social, and he gets up and he does a press conference and he says Lebanon was not a part of the deal. Iran says Lebanon has always been a part of the deal. It always has been. What are you talking about? Okay, so technically there's no ceasefire. Okay, so then Pakistan enters the chat and Pakistan says, hey, you guys, we can talk about this and we can negotiate because y'all have to understand that this is not just causing financial issues in America. This is causing financial issues all over the entire world. Okay. Everybody's stuff goes through the strait. Okay. You say you love my vocabulary. You gotta learn how to get around the algorithm. Okay. Like you gotta learn how to get around it. Because I'm sure y'all have noticed several melanated creators like pages are being shut down. They're losing their whole entire platforms behind, just reporting the news and what's really happening. Okay. So anyway, okay. So Big Orange gets up there. Pakistan, they're like, we're going to negotiate. Oh, there's something really important I forgot to tell y'all. I forgot to tell y'all this. When I just did the news update, I cannot believe I forgot to tell y'all this. So, and I don't know when our news is going to report it. So y'all know Big Orange is threatening NATO during this whole time. He's like, y'all better get out here and help us open the Strait of Hormuz. But a lot of the countries in NATO are like, no, we're not going to help you commit war crimes. And remember, I had told y'all they had already went to Iran and started speaking to them and negotiating with Iran themselves. Okay. So Big Orange threatens NATO again. Okay. This is a few days ago. So Zelensky, y'all remember him over in Ukraine. He remember Zelensky was trying to get into NATO prior to big rush to the invading Ukraine. So Zelensky goes to NATO and he says, hey, we should just form a European military and add Turkey and add Hungary and add Ukraine, and we can kick America out. F them. Okay. So when I tell y'all we got issues we got issues. And I know a lot of MAGA, especially Black MAGA, they're running around like on all of the apps trying to make you believe that boo-boo is chocolate. And they're like, no, we can just print more money. It's not that big of a deal. And, we have XYZ because our military, they do not understand economics, okay? They don't understand foreign relations. They don't understand geopolitical relationships. They just don't get it, okay? And it is what it is. And I don't know why y'all keep believing them, because they've been wrong the whole time. And every time they tell you something, the opposite keeps happening, okay? So again, over here, I don't want y'all to be afraid, okay? I just want y'all to prepare for what's coming. So when it's sink or swim time, you are a swimmer and not a sinker, okay? So we are going to be really screwed over if NATO says, yeah, America, we don't care what you're talking about, and we're going to put you out, because when we all come together, then we don't need you anymore, okay? And we can go and make the same deals with the Middle East, and it's going to be more effective because they're closer in proximity geographically than y'all are anyway. Okay, so just put that in your back pocket. That's a conversation that's going on right now at the same time. At the same time all of this is happening, that is a whole conversation that is happening. Okay, so back to the straight. Okay, so long story long, NATO is like, we're not coming to help you. Big Orange keeps lying. Him and Petey Weedy, they keep lying to the American people and doing these press conferences and saying, we're winning, we're obliterating everything in Iran. Everything we're doing is working. And the war is going to be over any given day. Okay. Y'all will notice they put out these types of statements on Mondays. If you go and look at the pattern, y'all work the comments. If you go and watch, you will see that there are people that come in and short the market. Okay. Literally right before Big Orange will make one of these announcements to manipulate, replace the F with an M. Okay. To manipulate what is happening in the market. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Now, y'all can type it. I just can't say it. Okay? This happens every Monday. And normally within 3 to 5 minutes of Big Orange making his announcement, some billionaires will come in. They will purchase, okay, the futures, especially in oil. The market has a reaction based on what Big Orange says. So then the prices will go down, even if it's only for 20 minutes, they will go down. The person purchases, right? Because they shorted the market. They make hundreds of millions of dollars like that. I'm talking about within 5 million. And then Iran comes out and they say that Big Orange is lying and what they said is not true, yada, 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 yip. And then the prices go back up. Okay. We also have an issue happening right now where the futures markets and the actual physical price of oil are not in alignment because of the manipulation. Everybody picking up what I'm putting down? So this is a repeat thing that keeps happening. And I need y'all to understand, baby, there is no oil for us coming from over there. It's not happening. Y'all remember I showed y'all the map of when I showed y'all the map, and hold on. I think I still got the map saved because some of y'all haven't seen the map. Okay, this is the map I'm talking about. Let me see if I got it on the laptop so y'all can see it over on Facebook and YouTube. Hold on. I don't know why I thought I had saved it on here, but I guess I didn't. I see. I need y'all to see the map. Boom. Here we go. Okay. So JP Morgan put this map out, and this is a supply chain map. Okay. And they put this out maybe about 10 days ago. Could be a little longer. I can't quite remember. Anyway, they put this map out. And this is tracking when the last oil tankers are going to show up to each country. Okay. Now, these are oil tankers that they had already been filled up, and they were in the pipeline before Netinet and Big Orange bombed Iran, and Iran shut down the Strait of Hormuz. Everybody got it? And remember, I told y'all tankers move slow. They're moving at like 15 miles an hour. So when they're coming from the Middle East and they're trying to make their way all the way over here, it takes months. Okay. So the last oil tanker is estimated to arrive on April 15th to the US. This is why when I was talking to y'all, was it Wednesday or Thursday, I told y'all, I was like, y'all are complaining about the prices going up right now. I was like, you're really about to feel it in like 2 weeks. And I was like, it's really about to be like extreme hikes. But that's because the last tanker shows up on the 15th, which is 3 days from now. And literally, even if they open up the strait like right now, because of the way the supply chain works, we would still have about a month and a half, and that's if they're rushing, but closer to 2 months for us to get more oil here. And keep in mind, they're not going to be able to produce as much because of what's been happening in the war with all the blooms and the pows, because all of that has been happening, and they have been destroying a lot of infrastructure, a lot of oil fields, a lot of pipelines, a lot of natural gas facilities and stuff like that. That means that there is less that's going to be produced now on a regular basis. So now when we get into supply and demand, like I taught you guys, the demand is there, but the supply has shrunk down. So that means that the price is going to go up. So there's going to be a bidding war, and that means all of the countries are going to have to pay more for the oil. Okay. Now, some of them have gone, because remember, Big Orange took the sanctions off of Russia. So Big Daddy Russia was struggling like economically, and now all their economic problems are solved because the sanctions were lifted. And so other countries are going now to Russia to buy oil from them as well. Everybody's still tracking. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down, because it's still not over. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down. I hope all of this is helping y'all though understand a little bit more. Okay. So now remember, Big Daddy Russia comes out and says, yeah, we're on Iran's side and we help Iran, and we're going to keep helping Iran. We're going to keep helping them beat up America. But our president went and took the sanctions off. Y'all, this is crazy. Okay, it's really crazy. All of it is insane. So this is why everybody was like, they don't know what they're doing, and they're not lying, baby. This is a whole mess. Okay, this is a whole cluster F. All right, now, okay, now keep in mind. So let's come up to today. Okay, so then the streets start talking, and the streets say that China is about to send a bunch of air defense tools. We're going to call them tools. They're going to send air defense tools to Iran. Okay. Now China comes out and says, nah, it's just rumors. It's just rumors. They're just lying on me. Like, no, that's not true. That's not true. They're just being ignorant. I don't know anything about that. I'm not sending any tools to help Iran. We're not doing that. Okay. I don't think that they're being honest about that, because they already have been helping Iran with intelligence. And before this even popped off, Big Daddy China already had some big ships staged in the Persian Gulf. Okay. And they haven't gone anywhere. And a lot of the geo-tracking tools that Iran has been using have been supplied by Big Daddy China. Okay. Also, Big Daddy China has been wanting to pop us in the mouth for a long time. And their leadership has come out and said they're not afraid of America and that they've been around for thousands of years. America's only a couple hundred years old. So they said they'll still be here long after us. Okay. And they also have incentive because y'all remember when Big Orange went over there and took the president of Venezuela and then took their oil and took the profits and put it in an offshore account. They didn't put it in America to the Treasury. They went and put it in an offshore account in the Middle East that they have control over. But anyway, y'all need to know that too. That's what I said. It's a lot of moving parts. All right. When they did that, they stopped Venezuela from trading oil with China. Okay, 67% of the revenue from selling oil in Venezuela was them selling it to China. You see what I'm saying? Iran is still selling oil to China. Iran never stopped, even though they shut down the Strait of Hormuz. They kept letting the ships pass through that were going to China. So now here comes Big Orange after Vance Pence was on a vacation with his wife this weekend. That was crazy. I was like, okay, you're going to negotiate over here, supposedly negotiate when they went to meet in Pakistan this weekend. And he gets off the plane with Usha. Sir, what are you doing? Okay, well, this is not a vacation. What is going on? What is happening right now? Anyway, okay, so anyway, the negotiations failed because we knew that America was going to be unreasonable. They were like, give up all your weapons, give up all your ballistic missiles, destroy all your nuclear facilitators and open up the strait and give us complete control over it. And then we'll be cool. Now, y'all know Iran is not going to agree to that. Come on now. They're not doing it. Iran is like, we got you by the balls and we're not letting go. So what you heard, whatever you want. Okay. So now, after 21 hours, they go, oh, the negotiations have failed. Okay. Then Big Orange gets on Truth Social and he's like, hey, we're going to create a blockade to the blockade that they have going on in Iran. And basically, as Iran lets other ships pass through, we are going to attack, America is going to attack those ships. Since we can't get a piece of the pie and since they won't let our ships go through, we gonna make it hell on the people that get let through. Now y'all know Iran has already responded to that, and they said I wish you would. They said, as a matter of fact, pull up. We got something for that ass. They said, come on. They live like, I wish you would. I wish you would. That's what Iran is on right now. They said, oh, that's what you're doing. So Big Orange and Vance Pence says yes, and this blockade is going to be effective immediately Monday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Is when this is going into effect. So this is significant escalation. So long story long, there is no ceasing of the fire. So all you little weirdos that were in my comment section, especially on Instagram, and y'all are like, you need to take this post down. There's a ceasefire, blah, 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 blah. You're wrong. No, I'm right. And you're still an idiot. Okay. Y'all keep letting these people doo-doo on your plate and convince you that it's chocolate. And it's not. Y'all love eating poop sandwiches. I don't know what's wrong with y'all. Okay. So then on top of that, guess what Iran did next? Somebody asked me, what did Iran do next? Because outside of Iran saying, I wish you would, they'd already did something else. Let me pull up the map. Let me pull up the map. Hold on, y'all need a map. Y'all need a map over here on YouTube. Let me get y'all a map. Okay. Hold on now. Hold on. Let me get y'all a map now. TikTok got the map. TikTok, hold on. Let me get the map for my friends over here on YouTube. Because sometimes when people can see where everything is, it helps, it makes it, you be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? You start understanding the seriousness of the situation. And so I know, y'all know, if you need help making more money, y'all know I'm doing a workshop, right? Um, I'm doing a workshop on Saturday, and I'm gonna be breaking down how you can get to this money. Okay. If you know you need help because you need help making extra money and you need help understanding like inferior goods and products and services, and you need help with your offers and how to attract buyers, all of that good stuff, you should be in my workshop on Saturday, because it's really pertinent that you start making extra $1,000 to $3,000 a month, like quickly, like expeditiously, like in the next few weeks. Okay, this is a good map for y'all here on YouTube. Okay, let me share. And if y'all are watching me on YouTube or Facebook, please make sure you thumbs up. Please make sure that you like, invite the people, all of that good stuff. Bam. Okay, YouTube and Facebook, if y'all can see the map, please give me a 1 in the chat. I need to make sure that y'all can see what I can see. Y'all should see everybody on all screens. Everybody should be seeing a map of the Middle East right now. Can everybody see the map? If y'all can see the map, give me the 1 in the chat. I just need to make sure that everybody can see. Okay. I see the ones. Okay, good. Good. All right. So the big orange mass that you see is Saudi Arabia. Okay. Saudi Arabia. The purple mass that you see to the right of Saudi Arabia is Iran. I want y'all to look at the size of Iran. I don't know why people in America think that Iran is small. Iran is not small at all. I don't know who told y'all this, that Iran is small. Iran is not small, okay? Now, I want you to look to the bottom right of Iran, and that's where Pakistan is. On the map, it's the kind of like a burnt orangey color, autumn orangey color, okay? That's Pakistan. Okay, that's where everybody met up to do the so-called ceasefire negotiations this weekend. And side note, I need y'all to understand, like, for the sake of how the world sees America, if you are a Caucasian American, okay, if you are a MAGA American, do not leave our country wearing your MAGA hats and shirts. They don't like you. Okay, that y'all are seeing the reports of MAGA people getting beat up. They don't like you, because a lot of people feel that a lot of the suffering and the economic challenges they're having right now, and the different things that are happening that are unjust in their communities and job instability, they greatly feel that it is due to MAGA. Okay, they feel like it's due to the red hats. So I would advise you to put your little red hat in your suitcase, okay? Because when you leave outside of America, the people are not effing with y'all, okay? All right, I'm just trying out, because I keep seeing these videos of red hats going out into the world, and they're being surprised that people are refusing them services, that people were like, oh, you can't stay in my hotel, you can't come to my restaurant. People are getting aggressive with them, and they're and they're like in shock. They're like, what's happening? Okay. Anyway, just side note, all right? So Iran is huge. Okay. Now, I want you to look at the body of water between Saudi Arabia and Iran. Okay. I was going to tap the screen like y'all can see. You can't see it if I touch the screen. I can see it. You can't see it. But I want y'all to look. Saudi Arabia is orange. Iran is purple. There's a body of water that's between them. Okay. Now, the body of water up at the top, that's the Persian Gulf. And then you see how it kind of goes into a curve, and then there's a little point in the curve. Does everybody see that? If y'all see the point in the body of water, it kind of looks like a little A, or some people may say it looks like a little V that's right there. And you see like a little yellow country and a little green point right there. Do y'all see that? If y'all see it, say I see it. Okay, say I see it. If y'all see it, say I see it. Okay, good. That is the Strait of Hormuz. That's the strait. So if y'all are wondering why Iran can like shut that sucker down, okay, and why they have so much control, that's it's right there, okay, it's on their coast, okay. This is why they said we have control over it, like it's our birthright, and geographically is here. So what is America talking about that they should control, that you can control it? No, you do not control it. This is ours, right? Okay, now I want y'all to look at the bottom of Saudi Arabia. You're going to see two green countries. One is like a bright green and the other is a sage green, okay? To the right, the bright green to the right, that is Oman, okay? So what Iran said in the initial 10-point agreement, Iran said, we're going to retain control of the Strait of Hormuz. We're going to keep charging this $2 million toll, and we're going to split that with Oman, okay? Oman typically is neutral. Oman is a country of negotiators, okay? So they're normally the mediators. So they show up between all of the countries. They help get the deals done. They make sure everything's working and running smoothly, all right? Oman also has the mountain range that when y'all tap the screen for me. Tap the screen, give me comments, share, all that good stuff. I was about to say something that they's gonna pop up, but what I'm saying is true. America won't admit to it. They said that it was a laundry facility that caught on fire inside of one of the naval ships. It was not. We got touched, okay? We got boom, 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 blowed by Iran, okay? And our ship had to retreat behind the mountains of Oman, okay? And then later, Big Orange accidentally slipped up and told the truth, okay? And everybody was like, well, dang, we did get attacked, okay? Now, the sage green colored country is Yemen, okay? That is Yemen. Yemen is the home to the Houthis. The Houthis are your ghetto cousins on your daddy's side that like to fight. They're a lot of fun, but they always ready to turn up. They don't tolerate no disrespect. And they always say, I wish somebody would, because we with the ish, okay? So this is where they are located, okay? So Iran was like, hello. And they was like, say cuz, okay? And Yemen was like, what's up, cuz? They was like, it's not real. America and the UAE and Saudi Arabia stuff, they tripping again. They on their F-ish. And, they really trying to make it hard on us. We thought we had a deal. We was going to try and, everybody just walk away. You mind your business. I mind my business. We don't bother each other. We can just stay out of each other's way as far as it's concerned. But they was like on some no stuff. And then they going to tell us that we can't defend ourselves. We can't protect ourselves. Yemen said, say what? Like, that ain't cool. What we going to do, cuz? And Iran was like, well, I already know y'all know how to handle that. So if we take care of this up here on the north side, y'all can handle that down on the south side, okay? Yemen said, say less. We finna get up right now. And when I say right now, I mean right now. The Houthis that got reactivated, and so they have shut down the Bab el-Mandab Strait. So that's the alternate route to the Strait of Hormuz, okay? So now I want you to look at the map. Look at the big orange mass, which is Saudi Arabia, okay? Remember, Yemen is the sage green country down at the bottom. Look to the left of Saudi Arabia. You're going to see a lavender country. That is Egypt, okay? Then you're going to see a big yellow country on the map, like a light butter yellow color. That's Sudan. Okay, and there's a body of water that runs between Saudi Arabia and Yemen, and right, and then on the other side you see Egypt and Sudan. Okay, that is the Red Sea. That's the Red Sea, and inside of there is the next strait. You said you look at the little map. Okay, and you see it gets narrow. That's the strait. Okay, that's the Bab el-Mandab Strait. So now you can see how the Houthis can get out there and they can cause mayhem and havoc. And they have caused mayhem and havoc in the past, okay? And the Houthis come out there with them AKs and they be like, And whenever Iran hung up the phone, was like click, and Yemen was like say less, okay, the Houthis was like, baby, get active, get in the streets right now. And they started attacking cargo ships yesterday. So when I tell you that the price of everything it's already gone up, y'all, it's about to skyrocket. I need y'all to understand what's going on. Okay. I'm trying to say it without saying it. I went to Kroger yesterday. If somebody asked me what I bought, because I don't think that y'all understand. Because if you go lower, like on the map, you'll start seeing that, like the Asian countries, right? And we get a lot of stuff from that part of the world. Okay. Let me tell y'all what I bought. I bought 2 pomelo fruits. I love pomelos. Okay. We only get pomelos here like in the spring and the fall. About 2, not 20, not 10, about 2. About 2 pomelos. I bought 5 lemons and 4 Granny Smith apples. $15.90 for 2 pomelos, 5 lemons, and 4 apples. $15.90 for 2 pomelos, 5 lemons, and 4 apples. Somebody asked me why your food cost and your energy cost in your home is about to go so high that it's going to raise your blood pressure. That is going to go so high that it may make your eyes pop out of your head. That is going to be so high that if you were a little cartoon character, steam would shoot out of your ears. Somebody asked me why. And side note, if you understand at this point that you need to be making more money, I highly encourage you to come to my workshop Saturday. I'm hosting a private portal online, and I'm literally going to be showing you guys how to start making money quickly. And the first step of that, we're going to be covering the first step, which is how you attract buyers. And more specifically, what you need to offer the buyers. Because people still shop when times get hard. Because I'm telling you this, the demand is still there. The supply ain't going to be there. But the demand is going to get there. And because things get higher, people switch over to essential, DIY, and inferior goods and services. And so if you're the supplier of those, you're going to do really, really well. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down? So you all should have a side hustle right now, okay? Now, why things are going to get higher is because you now have 2 major blocks where, like, the majority of things come from the world come through there. There are these brokers, okay? And the brokers assess the risk, and the brokers insure the tankers. And they insure the products on the tankers. Hey, Aunt Jackie, they insure the products on the tankers. The brokers know that there's trouble over at the Strait of Hormuz, and now they know that there's trouble, okay, in the Red Sea. They know this. What do you think that the insurance companies are going to do when it comes to insuring cargo ships and tankers? Anybody got a guess? What y'all think they're gonna do? What y'all think they're gonna do? That's right. They're gonna cancel, baby. They're gonna say, we're not gonna insure you. And then Big Orange comes out. He says, well, we don't need them to insure. We'll insure you here in America. And then American Financial Institution comes out and says, we're going to finance them with what money, sir? Because we don't have it. We ain't got it. Because you done bankrupted us. We ain't got the money. So, no, we can't insure it either. Then, y'all, there's a whole nother post I need to give y'all, baby. Y'all know Big Orange and them and Vance Pants and Petey Weedy, they want another $1.5 trillion for this war that we have no business being involved in, okay? Baby, I got my hands on the list of everything they want to cut, everything they want to take money from. Okay, y'all have to understand this is a madman. He's now asking also America, he wants us to give another $500 billion to him to complete the White House, which he tore down because it's dilapidated now. Baby, he turned the White House into a trap house. That's crazy. He took our beautiful, prestigious White House, baby, and it is out there looking real ghetto right now. Okay, baby, the thing is broke down, baby, raining on the inside. Y'all see they done ripped open half of the building, and he ain't got no more money to finish it, and they want us to pay it. He turned the White House into a trap house. Anyway, let's continue talking about the prices of everything that are going up, okay? Because this is the thing. We still need energy for our home, okay? We still need energy for our vehicles. And when the energy costs go up, okay? Because remember, the demand is still there. The supply is just lesser now. That means it costs more. And because it costs more on the baseline, what are they going to do? They're going to pass the cost to us. They're going to give it to us, to the consumers. Woo, Chile. Okay. Woo, Chile. And y'all, we're gonna have another stream later to talk about Amanda Youngaro and Victoria and Melania. Okay, that's a whole nother situation. I keep giving y'all the tea and the little news briefs because a new character has been unlocked. But I need y'all, okay, we can't get too caught up in what they got going on right now. At the end of the day, okay, y'all know what a stump down is, right? Hey, Royal Calypso. Hey, baby doll. Y'all know what a stump down is, right? But look, let's do a little side quest, okay? Melania is not a stump down, but she was a call girl. Call me, okay? Y'all know they got her up over here on that Einstein visa. So, because my man was like, I thought she was a supermodel. No, baby, she was a booty model, okay? She was baby selling it, okay? You can find pictures of her online, cheeks spread wide. You see everything from the rooter to the tutor, all of the holes, all of the orifices. Stop playing with me, okay? And then how they be like, oh, she was a genius and she graduated from this prestigious institution in Sylvania. Baby, she enrolled in that school for 1 year and dropped out. That girl ain't graduated nothing, okay? She's a hustler. Now, I will say this. I feel like she's probably inspirational. If you are a lady of the night, if you're a stump down, if you're an escort, if you're a call girl, if you're a SMEX worker, to go from, I used to get passed around to the first lady of the United States running around carrying $100,000 Birkins, okay, and fooling all of these W women into thinking that I'm elegant and classy and above them. Baby, she did that, okay? That's what she need to be writing her book on, okay? But, okay, baby, okay, pad passed all the way around in the circle for this, okay? So, long story long, okay? Long story long, don't get fooled, all right? And don't get too distracted. Is the tea interesting? Yes. Is it salacious? Yes, okay? Is it juicy and tantalizing? Indeed it is, okay? Is it very interesting, the fact that we have a former, escort as a first lady? Absolutely. However, that information is not going to help you make more money so that you can afford to keep living, because this is not going to be a short-term process. Okay, I need y'all to understand. Like, I just need y'all to wrap your brains around the fact you're not going to wake up like next week or 2 weeks from now and the prices of gas and the prices of food are going to be back down. They're not. Okay, they're about to get even higher because that last oil tanker gets here on the 15th, which is 3 days from now, and there's nothing after that. Okay, and if y'all go check the docs with what comes in, you will see that China has not been sending us a lot of products either, and now you have some form of a revolution or rebellion happening, and people are lighting these warehouses on fire as well. So what I want y'all, we're going to listen to something, okay? This is from PBS. And this is them talking to farmers, okay? So remember, I was like, y'all asked me why the prices are going up. On top of the gas issue, we also have the fertilizer issue, okay? Hey, Slim, what's going on? How you doing? We also have the fertilizer issue, which is a shortage, okay? And we have some places in America, in rural America, where the farmers are they're worried that they're not going to be able to have the gas to produce. And y'all remember the farmers already took a hit because our foreign relations are really, really unstable and they have moved into a negative place. A lot of the countries that were buying the products from us in America, they stopped buying them. They went to Brazil instead, and they went to Australia, and they start purchasing from them instead of from us. Also, because of the big, beautiful bill, the Republicans took away funding for a lot of the food programs here in America. And the farmers were like, yay, at first, until they realized that those are their customers. So now, because the farmers don't have the customers internationally or domestically, a lot of them are going bankrupt. And that's where you're hearing all the stories about the farmers committing unaliving themselves. Okay. So just to kind of, that's what I say, it's a lot of things that are happening at one time.
Do you know what's
a lot of things that are happening at one time?
Do you know what the president
Okay. Hold on. Let me find this from PBS before I get distracted by another news story. Because I saved this just for y'all. I was like, my people need to hear this. Do, 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 do. Boo, 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 boo. Y'all, I have so much stuff on my phone. It's crazy. I'm sifting through. I got to delete some of this stuff. And we're going to listen from the phone because it's going to be easier for me to pause and stop, okay? Maybe.
My name is Russell Baining. My family.
Can everybody hear that? Y'all heard what he said? My name is Russell. Everybody heard that? Now, I'm not going to hold the phone up because they'll get me for an unoriginal content violation. But if y'all want to go and look this up, you can go to PBS News. And the title is going to be Farmers Warn of Food Price Spikes as the War Drives Up Costs. Okay? That's the title. So if y'all want to see it, or you want to make sure, you know, that what I'm playing for you is legitimate, that this is actually happening, that's what you can go look it up as, okay? PBS News, and the title, Farmers Warn of Food Price Spike as War Drives Up Costs, okay? And this is from PBS News, okay? All right?
And I farm right south of San Antonio. We're buying nitrogen right now, and it's about 40% higher than it was, 2 or 3 months ago.
Y'all hear that? He said the nitrogen that the farmers are buying right now is 40% higher than it was 2 or 3 months ago. Everybody, class, what happened 2 or 3 months ago? Can anybody tell me what happened 2 or 3 months ago that would be causing the supply costs for the farmers to increase by 40%? Oh, America woke up and went blue, 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 blue to Iran. No, baby, things were already increased because of the tariffs. Okay, this is on top of the tariffs. The prices, the tariffs are already tanking the farmers. Now the farmers that are left are paying an additional 40% increase on top of that because of the blue, 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 blue in Iran. Okay. And baby, don't even get me started when we start talking about the truck drivers and their diesel costs and how many truck drivers are about to go out of business.
Before the conflict, let's just say that.
I'm Lance Lillibridge from Benton County, Iowa. We booked most of our fertilizer before the conflict in Iran. However, some of it we did not because it was too expensive. We're probably going to go with.
Y'all hear that? He said we have purchased fertilizer before the conflict, but some of it we did not because it was too expensive. Why was it so effing expensive? It was already expensive because of the tariffs, and now it's gotten even higher. So I am telling y'all, literally, the food you're about to see less food in your supermarkets and on the stores, and the food that you do see is about to get even higher. Okay, so that's what I said. You got multiple things that are happening. You have the tariffs that were causing inflation already inside of America. Then on top of the tariffs in America, you also now have, the increased costs due to the supply chain bottlenecks, the supply chain problems, and due to a lack of oil, a lack of energy coming to us. Okay.
Without that particular nutrient on our crop this year, a lot of other farmers are doing the same thing.
My name is Matt Frostick. I have a crop and livestock operation in Michigan. In January, we were looking at nitrogen for about $350 a ton. Today, that number is bouncing around $600.
Steve Turner.
That's double. That's double, because they start this off. They go to farmers at different places all over the United States. He said that the nitrogen was $350 and now it's $600. That's almost double. Now, y'all tell me if you really think that the height that you've seen your food costs at is as high as it's gonna go. It's not. It's about to. When I say it's going to be up. So y'all said I was being dramatic and I was overreacting a couple of months ago when I told y'all, even if you live in a small space, you need to start gardening. And you may need to team up with your friends, your family, your neighbors, especially if you're in a small space and y'all grow different things. So that way y'all have food to be able to trade with each other. When I got online and say, hey, you need to start bulk shopping with people to help cut down the cost, to be able to help cut down the expenses. When I said you need to start carpooling with friends and with family, so that way it's easier, and with your coworkers, so it's easier for you to be able to make it. Whenever I said, hey, I put this training on sale, y'all, yeah, it normally costs $1,000. I know you ain't got it. I made it $97. You need to come in here so I can help you start making money with the affiliate marketing. And shout out to those of you that did, because you are making extra money now. Shout out to those of you that did what I told you to do. And people are like, no, she's just trying to scare us. I'm not trying to scare you, baby. I just been trying to help you out.
I'm a farmer in northwest Illinois, located about 40 miles northwest of Springfield. We've got a lot of our inputs paid for, but I'm afraid we're going to be looking at some elevated prices for a while. There's people saying, well, there's 80% of the fertilizer has already been purchased for this year's crop. And we actually heard that figure from USDA. Even if 80% is pre-purchased and the other 20% goes up 50% or more, it can still be a pretty good hit for you.
The reality is we're not breaking even. We didn't break even the last 2 years.
With the increase.
Y'all heard that? What the farmer said? He said the reality is we not breaking even. Baby, they not even at this point, they're not trying to make profits. They just trying to break even. And he said we not even breaking even. We already weren't breaking even prior to this. You think they're going to break even with the cost going up?
In the input prices, there are no margins. They appear to be zero at this point.
It's just not the fertilizer.
Y'all heard that? He said there are no margins. They appear to be zero at this point. Margins are what business owners we look at. That's normally like the profit. Like, okay, if I'm selling you something for $10, maybe it costs me $7. I have, right. It cost me $7. I sold it to you for $10. I have a $3 margin. I get to keep $3 on each one of those sales. He said it ain't no margin. The other farmer said they're not breaking even. USPS, FedEx, UPS, DHL, all of the shipping companies in America are adding surcharges right now. This is why I'm telling you, in about 2 weeks, when you go to the grocery store, you're going to be paying more, okay? And the big chain grocery stores, they normally have 6 to 8 months of like back supply but you're going to start seeing that they're going to release less and less and less of it. And you're going to start noticing when you go to your grocery stores that they're going to be rearranging things, trying to make the store look full when it's not as full as it normally should be. Let's continue on.
Going to be the fuel end of this thing, and I know everybody's experiencing that right now with the elevated fuel prices.
You know, I always say if gas and diesel go up, if oil goes up, everything else is going to follow in some form or fashion.
As fuel becomes expensive and it's hard to produce that crop, or costs more to produce and transport that crop at all. But
now, not only are they saying that we got issues with the price of the fertilizer, we got issues with the cost of the fuel, and that also means we got issues with the cost of transporting. I need y'all to be aware of what's going on, okay? Just because there are sources that are telling you the opposite of what's happening in reality, and you can't afford to be blindsided right now. You need to make sure that you're properly planning, and that you're able to prepare, and that you have a plan of how you're going to navigate this, y'all. Your life has changed, and even if they open up the Strait of Hormuz right now, if they open up the Bab el-Mandeb Strait right now in the Red Sea, we still again have the issues with the region can't supply as much anymore because there's been so much infrastructural damage because of the war. Okay. You also have the time of things being able, of things like going from that area to come here that it takes to transport them. And because there's less of it, the price is going to be higher. So this is why I'm telling you, you're not going to wake up 2 weeks from now and you're going to see prices of gas back at, $2.38 like they were before the war started.
it all kind of equates to higher prices.
So much of growing a crop is out of our control, and we can only manage certain things. When the prices of these inputs become so high, what do we do? I don't know. And I don't think anybody's got a wonderful answer to it.
Well, when it comes to policy, I mean, frustration might be a little bit of a strong word. There's maybe anxiety, even before the conflict. Let's be honest about it. Tariffs have caused the price of our inputs to increase. If you want to look at it from the 30,000 foot view, agriculture pretty much still trusts this administration. That's still what I hear.
When you look at the Strait of
Baby, y'all heard that? Y'all heard that? What that farmer said? He said, baby, prices were already increased due to tariffs, okay? And now we just stacking expenses on top of expenses on top of expenses. And then he said, and we got a problem because it seems like a lot of these farmers still trust this administration.
Hormuz, we've got to have shipments out of there, and I think anything, whether it's our U.S. Navy or whatever it is, to stabilize that region, to get shipments out of there, because we were already fighting record inflation and a price squeeze already, and this is just, more on it right there.
For more on the impact of this fertilizer shortage, we turn now to Caitlin Welsh.
What they say, baby? What they said? What type of shortage is it? What your big cousin been telling you? Like I said, whenever I tell y'all to come in here and I say work these comments and y'all make sure y'all tap the screen and y'all share to help protect the live, the news is behind me. Okay. And I'm not saying that to brag. I am saying that to have you understand we're in a propaganda vacuum right now. Things have changed. You're not going to get the true information unless you are really going to dig for it, or someone, or you have sources. Those of us that have already been involved in trading and getting things manufactured and made in that part of the world, we have a different understanding than the average American, because these are things that we were doing prior to this, okay? And then I have a different understanding because I do have a degree in finance. I do have a doctoral. I do have a master's in business. I do have 20 years of successfully building businesses, even in hard economic times, right? So yeah, I literally have been trained for this, and I have the experience. So I'm not operating out of theory. I understand markets very, very well. well. So it doesn't matter to me what they're saying on the news whenever I know what's really happening. And I understand, because the news, they don't want to incite panic. And this is why I always tell y'all, do not panic, okay? But you need to plan and you need to prepare. You trying to stick your head in the sand and like, oh, everything's going to be okay. No, baby, things are changing. They're only going to be okay if you're doing something about it to put yourself and to put your family in a better position. That's it. But you trying to carry on life as normal, they're going to keep paying you the same amount for those of you that still have a job, but your dollar is going to buy less and less and less and less. That's why you have to work to put together a plan so that you're going to be able, right? You're going to be able to navigate through this hyperinflation that we're experiencing. And that's just the reality, okay? That is the truth of what it is. And so you need to be anticipating, as tight as you feel like your budget is right now, you need to be anticipating that it's going to get a bit tighter if you don't make some changes over the next 2 to 4 weeks, okay? And for those of you that do have the additional funds, you don't need to go out and panic buy right now, but this is the time where you need to start getting extras. If you need to get extra like beans, and I'm talking about whole beans, don't buy split beans, because you know why? You can cook beans, but you also can plant beans. Excuse me, you can plant them. This is the time, if you're good at canning, okay, go ahead and can up some extra stuff. Get you, extra soap. If you're a woman and you still have like a cycle, if you need to buy extra sanitary napkins, menstrual disc, feminine wipes, stuff like that, because as we keep having these supply chain issues, the warehouses are going to run out of their back stockpiles of things. And also you're going to keep seeing the prices of things increase. So if you can get some of those, additionally right now, you go ahead and you get those things and stock up. If you can get your doctor to give you a prescription for your medicine instead of 30-day, if the doctor will give you a 90-day prescription, so you can go ahead and get it filled in advance, this is the time that you need to be doing these sorts of types of things. And again, you need to be reaching out to your family, your friends, your neighbors. Okay, you plant some potatoes, I'm gonna plant tomatoes, you plant some okra, you plant this and that. Like, you need to be doing everything that you can to create you need to be doing everything that you can to get as healthy as you can, to create a good quality of life, but have an actual network or net that's going to be able to work with you so that you don't fall to your demise. And if you are a person and your company happens to shut down because it caves under the pressure of the supply chain shortages coupled with the tariffs, well, you need to have something in place where you can be generating additional income for yourself. And so this is why I'm telling y'all to focus on inferior goods, essential goods and services, and to be focused in on if you have a business, you need to shift your business model. You don't have a choice unless you're servicing the top like 7% of earners, because it's very different for them. But for everyone else, yes, you're going to have to make a change. If you're a small business owner or a side hustler and your customer falls into the 93% of the rest of Americans, you're going to have to switch over to a model where you're focused on quantity. And you're going to have to really focus on low ticket and mid ticket, because that's what people are going to be purchasing right now, and accessibility of the offer of the product. People are going to be looking for replacements of things that help them, things that they're used to right now at their current station in life. And so they're going to be looking for things that are going to help them save money and stretch their budget. So that was one of the reasons when I had told y'all to like jump into the class, I was like, get in the class. When we had put Instacoin on that stupid, crazy sale, yeah, like somebody was like, oh, I was like, baby, if you don't want to get to this, I understand it, but it ain't nothing else I can do for you. Like, you know what I'm saying? When we broke down the numbers, so I'm like, you're paying less than $320 a month. Companies pay me $12,000 an hour. Like, what are you talking? Me and my team working overtime at this point, being able to assist people and help people do what they need to do. But hey, that's on y'all, okay? And I don't want to hear nobody talking about I ain't got the money. I put up options all the time that don't cost nothing. You just don't have the patience. You don't have the attention span. You don't have the work ethic. Like, tell the truth about what it is. It's not a monetary thing, because I put out free stuff for people all the time. Anyway, let's continue listening. And for those of you that have questions or you want to add to the conversation, hold on, let me clear the queue out, because I know sometimes y'all just be requesting on accident when I turn it on because we didn't get to have conversation last time because I had class and I had to jet. But if you got questions or if you just want to contribute to the conversation, request up and I'll let you up.
She's the director of the Global Food and Water Security Program at the Center for Strategic and International Studies. Welcome back to the program. It's good to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Y'all hear who he talking to? Okay, this ain't no opinionist that he talking to. This is a real credentialed professional.
So the Strait of Hormuz has been closed now for longer than a month. How critical is it for global fertilizer supply?
Very critical, and for a number of reasons. First of all, because the Gulf is responsible for production of a significant amount of major fertilizer types, being the top exporter of some major types of nitrogen fertilizer and phosphate fertilizer. The Gulf is also responsible for significant proportions of exports of inputs to fertilizers as well, liquefied natural gas and sulfur. And combined, both the restrictions on exports to fertilizer and inputs to fertilizer has caused the.
Yes, for those of you that are just getting here, this is on PBS. If you go to PBS News, you're going to search "Farmers Warn of Food Price Spike as War Drives Up Costs," and you will be able to find it. And the only reason I'm not showing it is because I don't want to get a copyright violation or copyright strike. So that's the only reason I'm not showing it. But if you want to go see it yourself, where you can like listen to it over and over again, pause it, take notes, look up things, please go and do it. I got in trouble the last time I was showing, so that's why I don't have it up right now.
Spikes we just heard about.
Well, say more about that. What has it meant for prices and availability?
Yeah, the prices of all fertilizers are increasing, whether or not they're exported from the Gulf. And the prices of nitrogen-based fertilizer, particularly, like some of the ones we just heard the farmers reference. One type of nitrogen fertilizer has increased by 45 to 50% month on month. And what that means for farmers right now, as you mentioned in the spring planting season, a lot of farmers are faced with high prices. Some farmers, in fact, most farmers in the United States had already secured the fertilizer they needed for this planting season beforehand, but those who didn't, who needed to purchase fertilizer in global markets and were exposed to those high prices. When that happens, farmers have to make choices. They plant less crops, they apply less fertilizer, or they switch the crops that they plant. All of those have long-term effects.
Globally, what are the biggest risks if this disruption continues?
So biggest risks come in two categories. One is risks from high fertilizer prices. And those risks change depending on the time horizon of this war. The nature of the countries affected.
Now, what I just tell y'all, the Big Orange and them did this weekend. This dropped before the failed negotiations. This dropped before the failed negotiations. There's a additional blockade now on the Strait of Hormuz, and now the Houthis have blocked the Red Sea with the Bab el-Mandab Strait. It's blocked up now too. Are things about to get gooder or are they about to get worse? Okay, class. Who wants to guess? They getting gooder
And
or
how
worse?
they're affected changes. When you look at the countries that were importers of the products that I mentioned, the final fertilizer products and the inputs to fertilizers, those include some of the world's major agricultural producers and exporters. So potentially many really important countries on ag markets could be affected, alongside a lot of countries that are food insecure could also be affected. But the other category of impacts comes actually through a different channel, which is high energy prices. And it's actually through high energy prices that we're expecting to see high food prices in the short term in the US and around the world.
If the strait were to reopen tomorrow,
What they say going up? What they say going up? If y'all are on Facebook or YouTube and y'all want to come backstage, I just dropped the link in the chat. If y'all want to pull up, so boom, it's there too, and y'all can request. And side note, you don't have to cam up. You just need to give it permission to turn your microphone on so I can hear you. Yeah. When I tell y'all, all of the experts, all of the people that do commodities and anything like that, baby, we all know what it is.
how quickly could the supply recover?
Weeks to months, likely.
Really? Months?
Mainly because liquefied natural gas is one of the most important inputs to nitrogen fertilizer. And what we've seen are intentional attacks on LNG production facilities. So the duration of time it takes to get those
I see a lot of people asking questions.
Oh, snap.
First things first, it does not.
My name is Russell Bating.
Agriculture markets and food prices, but in the near term is high energy prices that are driving food prices higher globally. We saw the first report of the UN Food and Agriculture Organization out just a few days ago, looking at prices of in March. The price of all major ag commodities had increased.
Well, that was my next question for you. We talked about the impact on these farmers, but for regular consumers, I hear you say that we might not see the price increases for a couple more weeks?
A couple more weeks. I'll be looking for the Consumer Price Index report.
How many weeks she say? How many weeks I had told y'all last week? And how many weeks she said? Again, stop playing with me. I know sometimes y'all don't like it when I tell y'all these things. I know it's uncomfortable, okay, for you to hear them. But again, I'm telling you because I want you to be okay. I want you to be prepared. So you literally getting out here in these streets and trying to ignore it and be like, oh my God, like it's not true. No, it's true, baby. It's true. Whether you want to, this is the thing about the truth, y'all. Whether you want to believe the truth or not, it doesn't change the truth. Okay. So she said, she said a couple weeks. Okay.
From the U.S. Out in a matter of days. I'll be watching for subsequent reports from the UN Food and Agriculture Organization. The World Food Program of the UN expects that the impact of high energy prices alone will increase the number of people experiencing acute food insecurity by up to 45 million, depending on the duration of the war. And those impacts could spike within a few months. So it takes a few months for the impacts of high energy prices to bear out on high food prices. That's what we saw in the case of Russia and Ukraine as well.
Caitlin Walsh, thanks as always for your insights.
Thank you for having me.
So y'all can go, like I said, to PBS News. Y'all can see the whole thing. Without my commentary, but I have to stop it, but so I don't get violations. But yeah, y'all, this is real. This is really happening. And you really need to, you really gonna have to sit down and make some decisions with your budget. You're really going to have to sit down and, look at what you can do so that you can still maintain or have a decent quality of life during this time, because this is going to be extended. Okay. This is not something, like I said, this is not going to go away in a week or two. This is not going to go away in a month, y'all. And even for us to get back to gas prices that are close to pre-Iran war prices, that won't even start happening until 2027. Okay, and then we got a whole nother set of problems if the diesel price continues to go up. That's going to be a whole nother situation. Okay, that's an entirely different situation. So yeah, I just need y'all. I need everybody to be into it. I need everybody to know what's going on. Okay, that's what I need. I need everybody to understand. All right, so let's do Q&A. Let's do conversation time, because like I said, I didn't have time to get to it when I was on the other day because I had to run to class. So y'all fire off your questions, whatever you got, and I'm happy to answer. Or if you don't have questions and you just got commentary, that's fine too. But now you know. And of course, I'm going to check tomorrow morning to see what's going on with the Houthis. Of course, all of us are going to be checking to see what happens with our Navy, with the American Navy. We want to know what's going on with that too, and this blockade, and what's going to be the ramifications or the repercussions that comes from that, because that's a significant escalation that they just threw out there. You need to go, but you would love a link to my class. So if you click the link in my bio for the workshop, you'll see two purple buttons. One is a VIP and one is a regular enrollment, and you can pick either one of them. Let's see. Hey, Dr. Tammy. Hi, Minister Darren. How are y'all doing?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for accepting my request.
No problem. What you got on it, girl?
Well, I'm so glad I kind of stumbled across your, well, I don't think it was by mistake, but I came across your live tonight. I was just scrolling, and I'm so glad that you are covering this topic. I've been telling my family this since last year.
Mhm.
I actually started storing up last year,
Me
going
too.
to the Dollar Tree and Aldi, spending like 10, 20, 30 bucks a week. My family thought I was crazy, you know, but I literally started having those dreams, and I woke up one Saturday and God literally told me to get my house in order. And then I started having dreams about probably what's going on now, you know, war times and military in the streets. But so we've been storing up like the water, non-perishables, and even like getting small bills as far as cash, because I'm thinking maybe even maybe the ATMs, or maybe we're going to be attacked as far as like the
cyber
banking
attacks.
systems.
Yeah, that's absolutely happening.
Yeah, so we've been storing up since last year. So I'm glad you're hitting on this topic, and we have seeds and everything. So
That's amazing.
thank you for hitting on this, because people thought I was crazy.
You know, a lot of times it's easier for people to call you crazy because they don't want to face the truth and the reality of what's going on. So it's just easier to write you off and say, "Oh, you're crazy," or "You're overreacting," or you're being dramatic. And it's like, no, you're not crazy. You just have foresight and you have discernment, and clearly, the Holy Spirit talks to you, which it's amazing that you listen to it. Because I started stocking up last year too. I started changing my business model. When I say, as soon as they announced who was who was going to be sitting in the White House, I said, "Oh," and we were in a live stream, and I was in, and I got emotional. I started crying, and people, they were like, "Don't worry, God." I said, "This is the thing." I said, "Y'all," I said, "Clearly you don't read your Bible. Clearly you ain't had no experiences with God. God is in control." And sometimes God, like when you're in a space of judgment, which I do believe the country is in a reflective period based on, what our country is built on, the people are going to suffer. And I don't think people understood, I don't think they understood how I understood how deeply people in this country were about to suffer and what they were about to go through.
Right.
Yeah. And and people not taking things seriously, right? As far as trying to get yourself in order and get yourself prepared, because people like to procrastinate. And a lot of times people keep thinking, I have time. And the reality is, I'm like, okay, this is not something that's coming. This is something that is actually here, right? And people are already experiencing the instability. They're experiencing the discomfort right now. And it is going to get worse, y'all. And again, I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm saying it because you need to be prepared, right? And so if you're and this is the thing, even in the word, it tells you faith without works is dead. So if God is sending you a word, and God is saying like, hey, this is what you need to do. Every time you've seen a miracle in the Bible, God required us to do something, right, to get what it was. Even with the lady, right, with the oil, she had to go to her neighbor's house and gather up all the pots in the bowls to come in and go and face the wall and pray so it could be filled up. She wasn't just like, "Oh, I'm just gonna sit here and pray to God and I'm gonna just go take a nap." No, like there's participation. We have to participate as well. So literally, for people to just keep saying, "Well, I'm just sit here and it's going to be okay." No, you're not going to be okay if you're not being obedient to what God is telling you. And if God is saying, if God loves you enough to come and send people your way to say, "Hey, you need to prepare. These are the things that you need to do so you'll be okay." Well, then you're foolish to not do it.
Exactly.
How do I stay in touch with you, young lady?
Minister, you can send me a DM, and yes, sir. Well, and hold on, let me give you a follow too. I just followed you.
Oh, praise God. Praise God. I'm not that tech savvy. I'm 80 years old, so
Okay, come on now. That's a blessing.
I'm glad they have a smartphone, because I'm sure not.
Thank you again, Natasha. I really appreciate you discussing this topic.
I appreciate you coming and sharing. Oh, and something else for y'all, if y'all can't, sometimes it's a storage issue. If you live in a small space, it may be hard to where you're going to store these things at. Y'all, if you can't get water or you don't have the space for water, you can get water purification tablets. You can get a Berkey. Now you may have to, take a little bit from your check for the next few weeks so you can afford it, but they're really beautiful. They can sit on your countertop. That's a system that can purify water. I also don't think a lot of Americans understand that if our grid is successfully attacked, just even the internet or the Wi-Fi on the telecommunications side, we're in trouble. We're in trouble, and there's going to be a lot of deaths. People don't think about the amount of...
Ashley,
Yes, ma'am.
you know what? I got some of those. It's called, I think it's Rapid Radio. I got some of those, and I mean they're a little bit pricey, but they have unlimited distance. Like I have family in Tennessee, and we can talk. I got those so that if something happened with the phone systems, that I could still reach my mom and my kids.
Mm-hmm.
And you can charge them, but you can charge them with solar power.
That's the next thing I'm finna say, y'all. They have solar power banks that you can, they'll store enough energy so you can charge your phone, a laptop, run a couple of fans. They have solar power banks. If you have someone in your home, maybe they're like on oxygen or something like that, and they need electricity. Those are things, in my opinion, they're very much worth investing in, or it may be worth having a family meeting. And y'all say, okay, these are the essential things that we need, because you need them, even if somebody doesn't hack the power grid. What if I live in Arkansas, so we have tornadoes, right? You got this. Thank you so much. What if a tornado comes through and blows your house down? You know what I'm saying? Like that's happened here in Arkansas before, like just blown down neighborhoods, electrical wires, all sorts of types of things. Like people aren't thinking about that. That's what I was telling people about, like their medicine. Your doctors can get your doctors, if you ask them, they can give you a 90-day prescription. You can go to some of the companies and see if you can get manufacturers coupons if you need to like bring down the cost to be able to purchase something or to be able to get that. Some of y'all have some ailments where there's natural ways where you can get off of what you are. Like I know a lot of people are on blood pressure medication because they have high blood pressure. That's one of the reasons I posted that juice recipe that I've used to help several people in my family and my friends, like help them get off of blood pressure medication. Like literally people who had, if they weren't taking the medication, they were like stroke level, like blood pressure, like bringing it down into a normal range. So if there's like different supplements, exercises, stretching, walking, changes in your diet, things you can do, that's part of preparing too, is getting yourself as healthy as possible. And people aren't thinking about those types of things.
Okay, sister, now you said you're following me, so can you explain that to me? In other words, how will I'm serious about staying in touch because this is prophetic. I thank God for your obedience. Because see, a lot of people have a message and they'll sit on it. But see, I'm like the lady said, she happened to be scrolling and she came across it. And it's no accident. It's ordained, and I thank God for you. And like I say, I want to stay in contact with you because I have some things to share with you that can bless our people.
Yes, sir. If you go to my account at the top, you'll see a little button and it'll say send message, or it may just say message. Y'all, what does it say? Hold on, let me see. Let me pull it up over here on my other phone. I can't remember what it says, but it'll say message or send message. And if you tap it, then it'll let's see. Oh, I can't see it on my page. Somebody tell me, what does it say? Is it message or does it say send message?
I see something that say join.
That's the little club when you're on here right now. You have to go like to my main. Is it message? Okay, it'll say message. When you go to my profile, it'll be a button and it'll say message. And since I follow you, if you hit message, you'll be able to type whatever in there. And then thank y'all very much. I can't ever remember if it says. I'm on too many different platforms. But you can send a message and then we can exchange information that way, Minister.
Yes, ma'am.
You said like, let's see, a nurse, my neighbor is a plumber, learn skills to garden. Amen to that. Shout out to plumbers and nurses. Okay.
Now you say, what, we gonna go out to dinner and do what?
I think we can hear you. Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Who going to dinner? You taking all of us to dinner? It's a lot of us in here. You got big money.
See, that's what I'm talking about right
You got big money.
Hold on.
You taking all of y'all. He said he taking us to dinner. He balling. He balling. He taking all us to dinner.
Don't tell no lies, Doc. Don't do that, Doc. Listen. When I ask you to dinner, you gonna bring everybody else on and go.
Oh, you asking me? I can't go to dinner.
Why can't? Oh, my bad. I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
Should have kicked that off the rip.
It is.
Now my heart broken right here. I thought you were showing the map up there so we could travel around the world. All that. You know what I mean?
Well, look, I'm not trying to go to that part of the world right now. To be honest, now I planned on it initially. I was very excited. I was supposed to be speaking at an event in Dubai in May, and before the whole war popped off. And then while I was over there, I had planned on going to Turkey because I want to get my teeth done, not the veneers, like I like my natural teeth, but when I was younger, I had cavities and they put like the little silver caps in my mouth. And I found out that those are linked to dementia and Alzheimer's. So I was going to get the silver taken out of my mouth and get the white put in there. And I need a bridge. And it's cheaper for me to go to Turkey, spend like 6 days at a vacation, y'all. This is something else that we got to tackle in the United States. Did y'all see in Mexico that they just gave all their citizens universal health care? So I know, even with dental insurance, it's cheaper for me to fly to another country, have a vacation, and get my bridge fixed there, get the silver taken out of my mouth with the white put in, than it is to do it here. So I was like, I'm going to Dubai. I'm going to be close to Turkey. I was like, I'm just going to hop on over, you know what I'm saying, and have me a good fang on dang doodle time. So that's not happening anymore. So now I got to figure out what I'm doing in May. Let's see. You said they'll never give us universal health care. Well, see, this is the thing. I don't want to say never because we have a lot of power. We just don't exercise our power, especially when it comes to what legislators we're putting in office and holding different legislators accountable. Guarantee you start putting enough pressure on people's pockets, they start caving. It's us. It's us.
Right.
It's us. Before
we don't strike anymore. We don't strike at all anymore.
Not at all. You're right. Because before we even got to this point, if we would have boycotted, if we could have just got half of us to stay out of Walmart, Target, cancel our Amazon Prime accounts, a lot of them other companies would have been afraid. They would start shaking in their boots, and we wouldn't even have gotten to where we are right now.
Tell the truth.
Yeah.
You're telling the truth, shaming the devil. I'm trying to tell you now. But they don't want to hear that, see?
They don't
want to hear that. And let me just tell you, big corporations, you cannot fight once they got you in a chokehold. Prime example, look at TikTok. If you get a Galaxy on TikTok, I think you get what, $2 out of the what is that, $10 or $11?
Yeah, I think it's a 40-60 split, I think is what it is.
No, it's worse than that.
Is it?
Because I think the Galaxy is $11 or $10, one of the two, and if you only get $2.
Ooh.
If I sent you a Galaxy right now, I think you only get $2.
So it's an 80-20 now. Jeez.
And you think they're gonna stand up against that split? No. The people on TikTok know that. That's why they keep getting stricter and stricter on their rules, because they're already billionaires. They're living off the interest. You can't help them now.
I think they make $8 per. Is it $8 per minute on each one of us when we're on the app? If I'm not mistaken. I don't know what the number is now that Oracle has taken over, but prior to, that's what the number was.
Right.
Yeah.
I know one. Yeah, let me see. I'm gonna send you a galaxy right now. Look, I'm not flirting with you, nothing like that. I don't want no problem with your husband.
It's not, I appreciate it. A lot of shout out to
No, let me
everybody in the
see.
kingdom that sends me gifts. I appreciate it very much.
I just want you to be able to tell me what they gave.
I don't think I'll be able to tell you until we get to the end of the stream. It'll give like the little percentage.
Did I just send you one, right?
Thank you. Yeah, it showed up. And then I think they changed it where it's like a floating scale now, and the scale is dependent on like your rank as far as like they came up with all these leagues. If you're A league, C league, B league, how many hours you're broadcasting and stuff like that, it determines like your share. They made it harder because I remember they sent me a notice and they tried to position it like it was a good thing. They were like they wanted to put me in the top educational content creator program or something. And they're like, you have a chance to earn up to $7,500 on your content. And if you're a new content creator, you think like, oh, that's amazing. But for people that have been creating content for a long time, I was like, absolutely not. That's outrageous. Because before, you could make $30,000-$40,000 on a post, but the fact that they're capping you at $7,500, no matter how many views you get, no matter what your RPM is, no matter what the retention is robbery.
Well, I just sent you that galaxy, and I followed you so we could find out. I'm telling you.
Thank you. I'll let you know.
TikTok. I mean,
yeah, it's interesting. So I think when people are like, oh, what do we do? We tell people all the time, this is what you need to do. It just comes down to people not wanting to be uncomfortable, right? People are so like, this is convenient for me. But like our ancestors, when they were boycotting back in the day, if they had to walk, if they had to ride bikes to work, if they had to drive 2 or 3 hours to another city just to grocery shop with someone who was a Black-owned store or someone who was an ally, they would. We act like it's going, we act like we can't wait, a week and a half to get something in the mail, because you've gotten so accustomed to your Amazon Prime and getting something the same day or the next day. And I get it because I had Amazon Prime for years, but once I found out how much support Bezos was given to this current regime, and this was like, I think the top of December of 2024, I went and I canceled my Prime accounts and I haven't ordered anything from Amazon since. And, it took a little adjusting, but I was like, it just is what it is.
You can't beat them, join them mentality. That's exactly what it is. And that's happening all over America. You can't beat them, join them. And that's why they bring in, even in trucking right now, they're bringing in all this cheap labor with the foreigners because, they don't know better and they don't know how to strike or put up a fight like that. They don't do it in their own country. How are they going to do it over here? And what they're saying is, you know what it is? It's just greed. That's why it says for the love of money is the root of all evil, the love of it. In other words, these Walmart people are worth, the brothers and sisters alone are worth almost $400 billion.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine what the company is worth. Why wouldn't you be paying your workers in the stores better money and better insurance? It's just greed outright. And you inherited the company. It's not like you built it from ground up. You inherited from your dad.
Absolutely.
Who was a righteous man, by the way.
Absolutely. It's definitely love of money and greed. Like that warehouse, the guy that just burned down the toilet paper warehouse. And when you look at the fact that the CEO was making $29 million a year and the employees were getting barely $16 an hour, it's insanity. And literally he could have, if he was getting $27 million a year, that was enough money to where those employees, because only 20 of them in the warehouse, they all would be making $100,000 to $150,000. So when you look at things like that, us as people, like the people, we can say, well, I don't want to support your company, or I'm not going to buy your products because this is what you allow. And as soon as you start hitting the pockets of those companies, they shift. Look how look how quick what was that? ESPN and Disney and all of them reacted with everybody was like, oh my God, y'all took Jimmy off air. We canceling subscriptions. People started canceling Disney cruises left and right. Man, them people folded in 4 days. in 4 days they folded. So when people Target, this is my thing with Target. And I used to love Target. I don't shop there anymore either. I ain't been back to Target since 2024. And I'm not going back. And I don't care what pastor get out here and say the boycott is over. We can go, baby. It's not over. It was never your idea. I was already boycotting before you even popped up on the scene. We just have to have more. We just have to have more of us that will stand firm in things, because I think a lot of Black Americans forget we are the biggest consumers in the United States. So if you just got all Black people, we could, and we're never going to be able to get all of us, but let's say we could get 55% of us to say we're going to go 30 days and we ain't going to spend nothing unless we're only shopping with other Black people. We're not going to spend anything unless we only shopping with other Black people. Do you know how fast we will get so many of our demands met in this country?
You better know it. You better know it. You better know it. But that's the problem, though. You know what I mean? Getting people to understand. Listen, when you have a corporation that runs you, especially something like Tesla, this man's got $859 billion, and he claims $10,000 a year on his personal income deal. Watch this: $859 billion. Even if he has a regular bank account, he's making more money on interest, but he can survive any storm. You feel me?
Yep.
And so, but what happens is the corporation want to make it to you where you can't live without them. Mm-hmm. And that's what's happening with TikTok right now. The people, when TikTok was going to go down, people panicked because, hey, they make their living off of, TikTok. Think about some of these pastors in the churches, that's not doing the right thing. If people stop paying tithes and offering for a month, maybe they'll stop cheating on their wives and all this other crap that they're doing. You know what I'm saying? For real. You might be right. I'm trying to tell you, stop sleeping with the men in church and all this old foolish thing. We ain't paying no tithes and offering for a month. You can't make me pay tithes and offering, sir. You understand?
Yeah, that is true. That is true, because when I'm looking at leaders inside of the church that I attend, I do expect them to have a certain code of conduct. I do. And to me, it's not that hard to not cheat. It's not that hard. Everybody like, oh, it's really not. It's not hard to be a faithful person at all.
No.
Hello, my sister.
Not if you're a pastor.
I feel like even if you're not a pastor, just as a regular person, so I say this, and people that are in the category with me, they get it and they believe it. And then people that are cheaters,
how are you?
we are doing well. You got to quit interrupting people while they're speaking. So I have never cheated on anyone in my life. And I will never cheat on anyone. And people say never say never. I'm like, nope, like I'm not, it's not a thing for me. I'm not built that way. And so if I get to that point where I'm that unhappy, I'm just gonna leave. I'm gonna end the relationship. I'm not gonna cheat on you, and I'm not gonna let somebody turn me into someone that I'm not. You understand what I'm saying? So
that's right.
So people that cheat, they have a hard time believing that. I also have never had a one-night stand. And most of my friends, we've never had one night stands, because to us, it's the thought of being physically intimate with someone that you just met. Like, I don't even know if you have good hygiene. I don't even know if you brush your teeth this morning. Is disgusting to me, right? And I'm not judging people that do that. I'm just letting y'all understand, like, how people like us, how we think in our mind, right? There's a level of respect that you have for yourself. So even when it comes to boycotting some of these companies, it was a no-brainer for me. It wasn't hard. There's a lady that came in the other day and she said, well, do you teach, how to monetize Amazon affiliate? And I said, no. I was like, I know how to do it, but I don't teach it because I don't support Amazon because of their position with this current regime, right? And like, for instance, when you look at that $1.5 trillion where they're trying to pull money from to fund this war in Iran, the they've already stripped down so many social services and programs for Black business owners and things of that nature. They've already taken a lot of it away. They're basically going to take the remaining funding and they'll be down to zero. I have the list. I'm going to read out the list and how much they're taking from each organization, how much they're proposing to take away to get this $1.5 trillion. And so for me, you know what I mean? For me, watching Black people that are still supporting the companies that are supporting people that are actively putting us at a disadvantage, actively harming our community, I'm looking at you like, what's wrong with you? You know what I mean? Why are you so giddy and for lack of better words? It doesn't make sense to me. But for me, it's a no-brainer. Like, no, I'm not going to support you. I'm not going to shop with you. I'm not going to buy from you. I'm not going to do it, right? But you have other people, they're fine. They go, oh, it's not that big of a deal. You know, I'm going to keep shopping at this store. I'm going to keep my Amazon Prime account. I'm going to keep ordering from them. And literally, because of your decision to do that, you know, and a collective of us doing that, you may be back to where you're seeing, you know, 12, 13, 15% unemployment in the Black community. And the funding that's there specifically for, you know, new businesses or existing businesses or Black business owners to be able to get grants, to be able to come second or tertiary on these different government contracts, now is gone. When they got rid of that DBE program, and I remember sitting in a panel and I was so shocked because it was a Black man and he was a truck driver and he was defending MAGA. And I was like, they just got rid of DBE and he didn't even know what that is. And I said, that's probably how you have the government contract that you have right now. And I said, that program has been in existence since the 80s. And that's how mostly Black men, I know there are some Black women in trucking, but mostly Black men are in trucking and construction and contracting. And so literally they started losing contracts left and right because they got rid of the DBE program and the protections around it. So there's been such an uptick in Black truck drivers that were owner operators losing their vehicles because they no longer have the protections and to be able to get those contracts even when they're qualified.
Well, I tell you this, I own 18 trucks, so
come on
I'm
now.
selling this year to start. Well, yeah, but what I'm doing is I'm starting my own insurance company, and I'm getting the drivers involved so we can build our own shops and things of that nature.
Oh, that's fabulous. That's wonderful.
This year. Yeah. So, you know, I'm going for it. But let me just say this right here. I hate to say this. You know, it's a bigger discussion because trucking right now, people don't understand when there's a war that goes on, transportation is the first thing that they attack, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So what people don't understand, the rich, just because a person is rich does not mean that they're smart. You cannot equate the two. You have to understand that if you have $1 billion, it is easier for you to go in the business of flipping homes than me with 50,000. Do you get what I am saying?
I get exactly what you're saying.
10 chances in this, right? So at the end of it all, people have to understand. Just because people have money, I think Obama said it best. He's like, man, when you get around these people, you know, you've been looking at them all these years, you realize they're not as smart as you thought they were.
Donald Trump is.
They just hold position. They have people that help them out, all that good stuff. I will say this. In our communities, you spoke well and absolutely right. But we have to get our people combined. We have to get them educated. And what we have to do really, really, really bad is have our women understand and our men understand that we have to lean on each other. Divided, we will fall no matter how you put it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because the plan that they have is for the divide and conquer. That is a plan. You dig? If they can we can keep these people divided, we got them. That is the plan. They'll tell you straight to your face, some of them, if we could keep them divided, we got them. Because the woman plays a role and the man plays a role, right? If one is strength, the other was intelligence, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it is what it is. you know, but we gotta move combined with the plan of attack. And you're right, just like the Jews. I'm sorry to say that. I don't know if I can say that on here.
I don't know either. Sometimes they let it fly, sometimes they don't. I don't know. Y'all tap the screen just in case.
Yeah. But yeah, we need to take, you know, we could take our money out of all this stuff. And trust me now, you understand? You are absolutely positively right. Things will go differently.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, it's a hard task. Trust me, it is.
Let's see. I'm trying to highlight this comment and it will not let me highlight. But basically, honey, I promise I'm not trying to disrespect you. It just, I don't know, it's working weird. It won't let me stream up. But it says if you have all the African Americans, millionaires and billionaires move out of the big banks, $1 million to Black banks, Congress will convene and pass laws to support the poor and middle class. And is things like that are really, really true. A lot of the violence, the police brutality against us, if we had more of us that had insurance policies and it put pressure on them, a lot of it would stop. A lot of it would stop. So people act like we don't have power. We definitely have some power. Hey, Marshall, what's going on, gorgeous?
Hey, Ashley. Listen, when I say I am always enthralled by what our history, longstanding, have always been enthralled by you. You were always
likewise.
And so listening to you tonight, I want to get on just to say to you personally that I have clients, not only in my private practice, but being at Agnes Scott College, talking to young people, counseling young people. One of the things that I specialize in and in my private practice, as you know, I niche in this idea and this understanding of the intersection of money and mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm always encouraging folks to understand what their power is, because even at that age, that 18, some of them being 17, but 18 to 25 age, they are so disenfranchised to not believe that they don't have power.
Mm-hmm.
In what they're doing. And so I'm always encouraging them to throw your name out there, girl. I'll be like, listen,
thank you.
My girl in Arkansas, honey. But because what you give out is so well thought out, it has such great integrity, not only for the business, but also for what you gave us tonight, but also from this idea of, I had a conversation with a friend of mine and she was just like, you do this thing with money and mental health. How do you talk to people about, how they are to couch themselves? And what I sit with is a lot of a lack of belief. If there is an internal lack belief that you hold about what you can do or what you can't do, this is not only in your finances, but also just in your belief of the change that you can have, then a lot of us will acquiesce to believing that, I've done enough. I've boycotted Target for 2 weeks. I've inconvenienced myself in this way a little bit or whatever, but now it's a real inconvenience to me. It's an unmoving of my lifestyle. So I don't want to continue on in this. So I'm going to go ahead and have pastor such and such and have somebody so-and-so come out and say that it's okay for me, because underneath all of that, my lack belief was starting to get touched on, if you understand that. And so I talk to clients all the time, and I tell people all the time, when I'm talking to them, yes, my rate is my rate. My if you're paying for me for services or whatever, my rate is my rate. It is not because I want to go out here and ball out of control, baby. I'm not balling out of control. I want you to understand that if you can't afford me, go back to your boss and negotiate.
Yep.
Move around and figure out some other skills that you can have for yourself, such as what you're doing for us on Saturday, which is offering another skill set that you are able to go out and have those things that you want. Therapy, I'm a licensed counselor, y'all. Therapy is not a luxury thing. It's a necessity for a lot of folks.
It sure is.
But how do you believe that it's a necessity? Because the way it is couched right now is that it's a luxury. It's only for those that can afford it. It's only for the rich. It is not for the rich. It's for everyday people. But if you can't afford that, I'm not telling you that your budget is off kilter. I'm not saying you don't make enough, but maybe you don't make enough and you may need to go and renegotiate your pay. You may need to go and level up your skill set. right? Those things that you have within your wheelhouse that you can control. And there's a lot of folks that have internally a belief system of lack.
Yep. And a lot of
And
times
they
that with employers, if they're large enough companies, they just need to know the proper language, because a lot of times the companies will pay for it.
Mhm.
They have budgets set to the side for it, but you know, we don't normally know the language or the proper way to make the request.
That part, and the fact that they do have the budgets that are set aside for it, and every year that you don't use those benefits, every year that you don't go out and get the life insurance or go out and get the whatever insurance is used, EAP, whatever that is, guess what that money does? It goes back to the company.
Mm-hmm.
They will use that money that you won't use.
Sure will.
And these are benefits that they have set aside for you to actually use and be a benefit to you, yourself, and your life. But those things, if you're coming in from a lack mindset and you say that something like a counseling or therapy services are not for you, they are only for those who are wealthy or make enough money, then you're already coming in defeated. And so many of us are coming in defeated, even with this current administration. I'm going back to, and I'm saying, okay, yes, they are the power that's at play. Okay, understand that. Listen to the folks that have more knowledge than you. Humble yourself first. Humble yourself first to know that you don't have all of the information.
That's
Then
woo,
go to
that's a word right there. There's so many people, their egos are in their way, and I'm like, if you want to succeed in life, you need to try and be a student every day. I get up every day looking to learn from somebody. Like the minute you think that you know everything, that's when everything's gonna fall apart. I tell people, like, I know what I know, and it's a whole lot that I don't know. And when I'm in spaces and I don't know, I'm normally quiet, you know, and people are like, oh, you want to talk? No. Or I'll pop into a room and they immediately invite me up on the panel. No, thank you. I need to see what's going on. I need to know what's happening in the room. I need to get the gist of what's happening. A lot of times people that are willing, those of us that are willing to humble ourselves and not have extreme egos, we normally do pretty well no matter what the situation is, because we're smart enough, you know what I mean, to understand the value in community, the value in relationships, and the value in other people's wisdom and their experiences, right? Like Joseph was saying, he owns 18 trucks. Oh, if I was going to get into trucking, I need to, you know what I'm saying? What do you have to teach me? You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go in. What is it? I don't know. He knows. I don't know. And it's a lot of people, they're always wanting to be in the leader position, not understanding that sometimes good leadership is you falling back and letting someone else take the lead for a specific project or situation or circumstance where they know more than you do in a particular area.
Absolutely. And given the fact that you are here giving us this content and information, I am still working through what I was received from you. And I'm working through it because I recognize, even in my own self, as I'm going through and learning these different things to say, if you want to faceless content, I'm learning through your webinars and the videos, and I'm going through and taking my time. And I had to really slow myself down and say, God, okay, this is information that cannot be really couched in the 2 hours, because one of your videos, ma'am, is 2 hours. I was like, okay, hold on, wait now.
Yeah. Some of them do get long. Like I told people Saturday, I was like, yeah, babe, we're gonna be together 3 or 4 hours. And somebody was like, what? And I'm like, what I'm trying to teach you is impossible for me to give it to you in 30 minutes. It's just not gonna work. So I'm like, yeah, like, baby, come prepared, you know, get this replay so you can go back, and go through it. But I like I think sometimes people forget that when you're learning a new skill and it's something that's not familiar with you, you got to give yourself some grace. Like you said, slow down and let me get through it piece by piece. And there's a learning curve. And the more practice you get and the more familiar you become, the more comfortable you get, then you get faster.
Absolutely. Because that part of, if you walk into this, going into your workshops, going into your classes, going into what you are doing right now, and you think that you're going to get paid in 2 weeks, baby, you are already approaching this from a lack mindset.
Mhm.
And I understand you got bills to pay. And I understand that the car note is due. I understand all that. But I even had to find myself with slowing down and saying, God, okay, this is something that, and I appreciate you saying that this is something that is not in a 30-day time. This is you practicing this thing and regurgitating this information repeatedly over and over, that it's not in the next 2 or 3 days like some of these other people that's out here that's going to promise you that you're going to get $10,000 in a month's time and all these other things. That's not for you. That's what you paid into them for them to get $10,000, but that's not what you're going to receive, because this takes time. This takes practice and work. And for you to not only give us what you are degreed in, there is a powerhouse in you. There's a calling on you to give this. And even tonight, of us even have this little bit of a conversation, I hope that, because I know for myself, I don't give a damn about nobody else, but for me, okay, let me say this, for me, because I'm that type of counselor, for me, it is such a humbling and empowering thing for me to be around like-minded individuals, to recognize that, okay, this business that I have is something that is not a quick fly-by-night to help me get $10,000. This is something that's to help me to understand the people in the kingdom. How do I advance the kingdom of God? One, that is not something that is overnight. That is something that is with study. That is something with taking your time. That is something with humbling yourself and getting around people who understand more than you do, and open yourself up to whatever that is. But recognize the lack in you so that you can be able to be open to receive something else so that you can go out and flourish. That's just my little tidbit for tonight. And I just thank you so much.
I appreciate it. And I thank you too. Like, y'all, side note, y'all follow Michelle. She is such a sweetheart and she is such a calming energy. I have to have calm people around me because I'm very fiery. I'm a fiery person. There's a company, I'm not gonna name the company, and the CEO is a Black man. And he was trying to get me on board, and I'd never had anyone describe me in that way, but he was like, literally, he said, I'm like walking fire. He was like, your energy is so high. And there's a lot of people, they like, oh my God. It was like, yeah, that was like, that's it. So I'm real excitable. I'm always excited about everything. Like, oh my God, let's do this. Let's do this. So I noticed that God puts like people around me that are calmer, so it like balances me out, because I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, let's go. Let's do it. Let's go. And everybody's like, what? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, we got to get y'all. Everybody, if y'all are listening to me, is very important when you're building your network for anything, your business, your relationships, friendships, opportunities you want to create for yourself in your industry or your business. You have to have some people, I would say, that are opposite, because it's really good balance. And I don't mean opposite as far as like morals, right? That's not an area you want to be opposite in. But as far as like maybe personality traits, characteristics, different strengths that they have, maybe an area you're weak in, you want to have people around you that are strong in those areas. I always think about Nathan in the Bible with the leprosy, right? And you remember he traveled all that way, and he gets over there to see Elisha, and Elisha sends his assistant down there, and he gets mad, baby. He just like, I came all this way, you're not coming out here to see me. And he's like, bro, I told you, go over there and dip yourself in the Jordan River, several times. And he's hot, he's getting ready to pack his stuff and go back home and throw everything on there. And his men that came with him have to talk to him and say, hey, well, you came all this way, so you may as well try. And if it doesn't work, it's not that big of a deal. But if you leave, we won't know. So since we're here, we may as well. But they had to come and talk to him, right, with a different perspective, a different set of ideas, a different set of reasoning. And if it was just left to him and his accord, because of his ego, right, he was so offended, he wouldn't have got his healing.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't have gotten it right. And then after he ran back and he was like, oh my God, he wanted to offer gold and silver and camels and donkeys and all of this stuff. But literally he was about to be in his own way. And that's how I feel a lot of us are sometimes, because we will seek people until you know better, right? When you get older, you get a little bit more wisdom. But when you're younger, sometimes you'll seek people that are super similar to you because you don't want the resistance. You don't want anybody to give you I'm not going to say pushback. I would say a different perspective, right? Or a different way to handle things. But in reality, that's how you become a more well-rounded people. So I would encourage all of y'all to have people in your lives where you're not in an echo chamber, where you have some people that have different ways that they like to deal with things. And a lot of times when you combine your ideas, and your resources and your talents together, that's when you get the most outstanding results ever. That's where you're able to get to all of these tremendous heights by having other people around you that don't think exactly the way that you think, and they have different strengths than you have. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that absolutely, positively, 100% makes sense. At the end of the day, when I first started this trucking company and my little coffee shop and all that, you have to get people that have outrageous thinking. Mm-hmm. My mind was outrageous, period. You know what I mean? And, when people say, oh, you can't do that, you got to imagine each one of those trucks are $184,000 to $221,000, including the trailer, right? So at the end of the day, I had to have faith, man. That's just straight up. I'm gonna say that off the top, and I had to be willing to go for it. But moving forward with the things that I'm doing now, as far as the summer camps and all that for the inner city youth, right now that is a vision too big for myself. However, I can't hang around people who are trapped in a box. I mean, there's people that are more experienced with children than me. However, they don't have the vision that I have. And so far, to show you how crazy, God is, especially when you have a vision that he's given you, I'm sitting in Ruth Chris Steakhouse and I'm discussing my summer camp that I'm putting the plan together with a dude to my right? And I'm just telling them about it. I'm like, man, the problem is youth influence youth, right? Mm-hmm. So if you help the kids in Arkansas, but you got the kids in Chicago doing something, no matter your influence, these kids are going to flock to the kids in Chicago. If you got the kids in Chicago straight, but they're watching the kids in New Orleans, then they're going to flock. Kids flock to each other. A 2-year-old in the room with a 2-year-old, they're going to flock to each other, right? So I said, what I have to do is devise these summer camps, get these retired drill sergeants, teachers and counselors together for the summer, right, to kick this thing off. But it has to happen in multiple states at one time. Sitting to my left was the CEO of Bunny Bread, right? If anybody knows, Bunny Bread is a huge bread company throughout the South, right? This dude is the CEO. He's sitting to my left. He hit me. He said, hey, man. He said, I hate to butt into your conversation. He said, but me and my friend was listening intently to what you said. I am the CEO of Bunny Bread. Here's my card. My direct number is right here. He said, when you get that plan all the way together, from what I can hear right now, I've never heard anything like it. He said, I want to be the first person to give you your first couple of million. He said, that's right, your first couple of million. And I have some friends I'd like to introduce you to.
Wow.
Are you with me? Now, wow. I say that to say this. That my heart was in the right place, my vision, and I'm still putting the summer camp together because now I've changed it from 8-year-old to 13-year-olds in the summer camp to the kids, the bad kids, teachers don't like you to call them bad, but I'm going to say, well, teach the kids that cause
the challenges, the children with the challenges.
Yeah, challenges and all that. I want to have them throughout the school year. You see what I'm saying? But we're putting together how to make that, the way that we want it, because there is an attack on our children, right?
Yeah.
An attack on our families. But you have to understand there's a big distrust in our communities right now, right? Our rich are not investing in our poor. It's sad that I have to have the YT man offer the money, but the BLK man I got to fight and beg, which I'm never going to do. You know what I mean? Because I make my own money. But I say that to say this, that everything is going according to plan, but there has to be a plan.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And you have to have the faith. You have to step out on faith, and you may have to do things differently than other people have been doing, Jim. You know, because everybody doesn't have the same recipe to gumbo. Everybody's got a different recipe. You know what I mean? Might be a little tweak here, a little tweak there. Money is not my problem at all. And I got 99 problems. Money ain't one. But what I'm saying is, when you're formulating something to make a change, and in our culture, and with the youth, as bad as it is now, man, you got to have that vision. You got to have that plan A to Z. You know what I'm saying? And you can't think like the people that's around you, because this, you know, I told a lady, I said, ma'am, I have millions. Why would I listen to you? Like, she had, I'm not going to lie, she had this little like scholarship thing. You feel me? Now there's a knock in the woman's program. I didn't say anything to her, but when I presented mine, she started hating on me, a sister. And I was like, I said, hey, man, I said, hold up. So she said, what we need to do is this, what we need to do is that. So I said, ma'am, I'm not knocking you, but let me just say this to you. No harm, no foul. I said, your program has helped 5 kids a year. And I don't knock that, right? Out of those 5, maybe 2 are actually graduating from college. Hey, listen, kudos to you. Hey, listen, whatever you're doing, I'm not knocking. But I said, why are you knocking mine? Because I feel like we need to reach more people, you know, in a single swipe. Like, I don't want to say it this way, but your program is just not doing enough. That's how I put it. She had a hissy fit. I said, okay. But I had to think outside the box. I let her have that. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to be respectful to the sister, because she was about a couple of little years older than me. So I wanted to respect my elder. I let that go like that.
Respect the elders. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I let that go like that, you know. But I'm saying you got to be willing to think outside the box, man, to do major things in this world. You know, don't be afraid, especially when God gives you the vision. Go for it just the way he showed it to you. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If he show you walking on water, walk on the water. Walk on the water.
Period. But you gotta have the faith, like what Marshall was saying, and you gotta have a level of confidence.
You gotta have the faith
and your abilities. Yeah, you can't come in with a defeated mindset already.
Man, you gotta have the faith. You gotta believe, man. It's not in your ability. It's in God's. Well, you know, it's some of your ability, but you know, God is always going to do exceedingly abundantly above and beyond what you can imagine or think. So if you can imagine it, then it might not be from God. You see what I'm saying? But if you look at it, it's like, God, this is too huge. You know what I'm saying? Then it may just be from him, because he don't want you. He ain't going to share his glory with no man. You see what I'm saying?
Very true. I want to give a special shout out to Kamala B10. I finally could see her name. That was with the commentary about the black banks. I was trying to see it, and I was like, it was stuck. I finally could see it. Thank you, Kamala. Let's see. Nicole is on Teacup, but Nicole, when you get off Teacup, hey boo, just jump on in. Let's see. Is there anything else that anybody wants to add, or any questions before we get out of here tonight? Because it's midnight my time. Okay.
Yes. I know it's midnight your time, and I know it's kind of late for me. I'm on the East Coast, child, so I should have been in the bed.
Okay, it's one for you. Look, this is, you know, I'm a night owl, right? But so I started seeing a traditional Chinese medicine doctor, and he is on me about the time that I go to sleep. And he was explaining to me like the repair time of your different organs. And he was like, basically, I pretty much have been running on reserves for the last 3 years because I stay up so late, and then I turn, only sleep for like 4 hours. So he was like, it's not that he even has an issue with me just being a short sleeper, but he was like, the fact that I'm like up, to like 3, 4 in the morning, then I turn around, I pop back up at 7. He's like, you don't have, he was like, the window that your organs repair in, I'm missing the window. So I'll try and like, go to bed at a decent time now. It's hard some nights because I'm just used to, I was like, I'm up, I got stuff to do. I got a contract, I got an email, I need to edit some videos. I'm always doing something. I got to wash the dishes, I got to juice, for the next few days. Let me, you know what I'm saying? Let me put together this, that, and the third. I need to wash clothes. I always got something to do. And I was just like, okay, girl.
Your husband don't tell you come to bed? Your husband don't tell you come to bed?
Hey, sir.
Your husband supposed to tell you come to bed.
No, sir.
Your husband's supposed to tell you come to bed.
No, sir. Okay.
Why not? She got a husband. Why wouldn't he tell her come to bed?
Now listen, she is a award-winning, multi-hyphenate woman. She has a lot of, and I get it, Ashley, you have a lot of responsibility that's on you.
Yeah, one of the reasons I was attracted to him though, because he didn't try and change me. Other men that I met when I was single and when I was dating, they very much wanted to change me. They didn't understand. Like I very much operate in obedience and whatever God tells me to do and what I'm working on. And so literally when I would meet men and they'd be like, oh, well, if I put this ring on your finger, you're going to have to slow down. You got to stop all that traveling. You can't do this. You can't do that. Well, sir, you got to find another woman because that's not, you know what I'm saying? I'm chasing after what God tells me to do more so than what a man is. And I always knew if it was for me to have a husband, God would send me the man that would be aligned with me and that would be supportive in my endeavors and also understand, what God is directing me to do. So that was a huge factor for me or whatever. I was just like, oh, it's like this man loves me and he lets me be me. So, yeah.
And that's all right, but the man can't have you if your organs shut down on you.
They ain't gonna be shut. I'm getting rest now because I know better. That's what I'm saying. I know better now. But I really was ignorant to because we live in America. So listening to what our doctors and stuff say, but these Chinese doctors, they've been practicing this for thousands of years, and they are much healthier as a people than we are in America. And so I had no idea that your spleen starts repairing itself at 10:30 and your kidney starts, doing this thing at 11 o'clock. I didn't know, but now that I know, you know what I'm saying? They say when you know better, you do better. So now I try and get in the bed. And also, Mr. Joseph, before recently, like about 3.5 months ago, my mom passed away, but I was my mother's primary caregiver. So also, when you're a caregiver and anybody that's a caregiver, they know you will, a lot of times you'll start neglecting yourself in taking care of them. So that was like a really big job, especially towards the end. Her cancer got very, very aggressive. So anyway, just kind of acclimating to get back, changing that with her being gone.
Yes,
I just
want to say, I so appreciate, before I let you go or before I get off this and go to bed, honey, I want to say to you, and having this opportunity now to just say that what you had gone through and what I've seen through social media, what we were able to see behind the veil of what you were doing in your business, what you were taking on, how you were navigating your grief and your loss has been so instrumental in my grief and my loss with losing my father.
I'm sorry.
Just a few months ago.
I didn't know your dad passed away. I'm so sorry, Marshall.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry to hear that.
With that, what I champion in what you're talking about with medicine and what I champion all people to do and what you're talking about is that part of just rest and what that looks like. But what I also champion on is what you were able to do in that time of being like, this is my process. Respect my process and respect my capacity. Some people got 10-gallon cups and some people got a teacup. Respect the process, and when it's time to rest, there will be a sign and God will show you where it's time to rest and when it's time to get active, when it's time to do all those things. And so as someone that has watched you grow, someone that had just a little him and a little bit of your light on me in our time of being together and being in the streets and Arkansas streets and everything, how it really influenced and helped me to continue on. Because this thing with grief and trying to run a business is hard. This thing of trying to navigate certain things and certain abilities or whatever, while everybody else has all their other opinions about what you should be doing, it is hard. You showed me every time I got onto social media, every time I got onto thinking about my business and everything, knowing that I had this grief. I had my moments of grief. I cried, screamed, did all the things, but when it was time to get to the business, I'm trying to get to the business. And I looked to you. You were there, you were constant, and it's not to say that for you to continue on. I want you to get your rest. I want you to be able to sustain,
Please
and
get
I
the
know
rest.
you will. She will.
Please get the
She
rest.
will. She will. She's going to. And, you know, is that part of being able to be just that of an icon, that of a beacon, that of a hope, because what you've been able to do, your story or whatever is one of one, and it's so inspirational and it's so needed. And so for me, being in the space that I'm in right now, I'm like, I understand it more so than ever. And I appreciate your obedience, and I thank you for what you give, even on the free, even on the discount, because it's a lot of discount that you give, girl. It's a lot of discount that you give, a lot of free that you give. You still give so much of yourself. And I just want to say thank you. I know there are other people that will say thank you, but somebody that is in active grief right now and knowing the things, I thank you. Because you showed me what is possible.
Thank you for that, girl. Look, my mama, she was like, you can't, she's like, you can't quit. And she was like, don't cry for me too long. Cause she's like, I'm gonna be up there with my father and I'm gonna be living better than you. And I was like, you know what? I was like, you real, girl. I was like, you real. And it's so funny because the morning that she passed away, my Bible went over to the verse where it talk about, being, like basically obeying, your parents and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, God, that was like a few hours before she passed away. And so, anyway, it's been interesting to say the least. It's been very, very interesting. And so I just try and focus in on being thankful for the time that I had with her. Because when I meet people and they, lose their parents like in their 20s or they're teenagers, and stuff like that, and they're still able to go on, I'm like, okay, well, I got to thank God for the time that I had with her, you know what I mean? And count that, which I'm very blessed because I had a mama who really loved me. You know what I'm saying? My mama and my daddy, they really, really love me. And when I see, like you see that stuff going on with like Black China and Tokyo Tony and stuff like that, and I'm like, dang, I'm like, some people have it so hard. Like when you come out the womb and your number one enemy is your mama, or you look at that mess going on with Pooh Shiesty and his daddy, your daddy is supposed to be your wise counselor. Say, hey, don't go rob this man. His daddy the went and booked the guy went down there with them. To have parents that have good sense and parents that love you and pour into you and push you and support you and will help you build and want to see you be the best that you can be and guide you is really a blessing. It's a huge blessing, a huge blessing. So I just count it all joy, and I have my little days, where I rest, I'll do my half days or whatever, but I can't spend too much time crying, girl, because crying ain't gonna get me nowhere.
Come on.
It ain't.
And then when mom then transition to the next life,
right?
I tell you this, and I tell everybody this. The Bible say, "Be anxious for nothing." Right? Be anxious for nothing. And at the end of it all, I could tell anybody every time that I rushed to get something, I always fumbled or I made it worse. So I tell you this, take your time. The Asian man telling you right. Sometimes I be working, I be doing trades online or something, and I get sleepy. I stop what I'm doing and I go to sleep. It may be an hour or two, it may be 3, but then when I wake up, I'm rejuvenated. I'll get back to what I'm doing, but I make it wait to rest. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'll get sleepy. Like the sun will hit me right. I'll be in this truck driving and the sun will hit me right. And my brother and them would call me many times and be like, man, why are you got all these trucks and you pretty well off. Why do you drive? And I tell him, I say, look, man, I got a goal in mind. I got something going on. I don't want to leave this $5,000 to $7,000 a week, you understand, on the table. It's going towards something, right? But when that sun hit me right, no matter how much I'm working, I'll pull this truck over in the rest area and go to sleep. Me and my little Frenchie in here. I got a little Frenchie in the truck.
Oh, Frenchie's so
I go
cute.
to sleep. My man, he's asleep now. Look at him. Yeah, this little sucker. But I go right to sleep. And then when I get up, I'll roll, I'll get back to rolling. But take the time to rest. Moms, God bless her soul, would have you want to rest now. She wants you healthy. The business gonna be there. Trust me.
Yes.
Business gonna be there, baby.
Yes. And Ashley, like I say, my story, girl.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked, my story.
Yeah.
And so I just say, more than anything,
You're a strong woman, okay? Side note, because I know some of y'all looking at Marsha and y'all like, she's so pretty. Marsha and I used to model like back in the day, and that's how we met each other. I can't remember what job we met each other on, but we was like the only two that had sense, and we ended up being like, hey. I can't say that for the rest of the girls that was there. Right, but when she and I we were more alike. Okay, we were more alike, and so we got along real well, and we found we had common interests, or just kind of the way we wanted to conduct ourselves. That's the best way to say it. The way we wanted to conduct ourselves, okay? But because I know some of y'all like, God dang, she's really pretty. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was thinking that about you. Had a nice glowing skin color. I seen that.
Yeah, Marsha is.
Right, that's why that man put that ring on it. That's why that man put that That man said you glowing. You understand?
I eat a lot of spinach. It gives you glowing skin. Spinach keep you hydrated. Now, got to get your vegetables in, okay? You gotta get your vegetables in, okay? Get your spinach, your kale, your cucumbers, all that good stuff. Avocado.
But actually, you are always just an icon in my book.
No, I feel the same about you.
Where we come from.
Yeah.
About Arkansas, coming and being in Arkansas and being in Little Rock in particular, what you were able to accomplish, what you were able to do. It's not so many of us who are able to say that we were able to endure the things and make something happen. And so I am more so, I'm not going to ask the question. I'm going to just wait, child. I'm going to just wait till Saturday. I'm going to wait till when you have all of us and the people. Because I'm like, me being in the service industry, serving the people, how I can flip these coins, because America is.
So believe it or not, anybody that's in industries like you are right now, also people that do like spiritual guidance and stuff like that, y'all are going to do really, really well, because people have high anxiety, and anybody that's assisting people with having like a peace of mind going through, when there's so much uncertainty, you're going to be in high demand. Like y'all think people was cutting up during the vid, please y'all to see what happened this weekend. They said 6 warehouses on fire, set them ablaze. Okay, that's not going to be a one-time thing. You're going to see more and more people, having different reactions.
And I'm just so excited, and I'm looking forward to what you're able to give us on from different industries, but particularly my industry within itself. I have a couple of counselors I'm trying to bring on to the fold and have them come up Saturday and come on, y'all, get this education, get this understanding, and talk with King Ashley Ann, baby, and get this understanding so you understand where we are headed as a country with all the different changes and where you are going to find yourself to be stable in all of this.
Y'all want to know something else that's a good opportunity? Did nobody ask me, but I'm gonna just throw it out here because somebody need to hear it. If you are a teacher, okay, listen, Love Muffins, you need to get you like 3 or 4 other teachers. I mean, you don't have to get it with 3 or 4, but it would be more effective if there's a group of 4 to 5 of y'all and you charge like $97 a week. You know, that's affordable. And y'all have little groups of 15 and y'all like rotate and y'all offer support for people that are homeschooling, because you're going to see an uptick in people homeschooling their children, especially with everything that happened with the big, beautiful bill and how they're taking, you know, money away from the public school system and the voucher programs and all that stuff. And people that want their children to have advantages and to be more educated and to be able to do well, you know, on testing so they can get into schools and stuff like that. You basically literally, you know, like let's say you teach algebra or something, well, you got those students for 90 minutes, you know what I mean? And then those 15 students, then you get the grammar teacher that comes in, or the biology teacher, or geography or civics, or, you know, I don't know, whatever it is that you guys do, but literally they can be on a rotation. And it's a small group, small class, you know, the students are going to do better. And then the parents like it because they know for a fact their children are being educated properly because they're working with actual teachers, right? That have the licenses and the credentials. And that also gives whoever the homeschooling parent is, the mom or the dad, well, if I know that my child is on the Zoom, you know what I mean, and they're learning their algebra or Mandarin or whatever it is, you know, whatever it is that's out there, if I know that that's what they're doing, then that mom or dad, they can do whatever else they need to do in the house, right? While the child has the 3-hour or 4-hour block with this collective of teachers where you guys have essentially formed a pod. And most teachers that I know, they're not making $1,400, $1,500 a week. So that's going to put the teacher in a much better position too, right? And then you can have additional order bumps with like additional tutoring or one-to-one sessions and things like that, just for all the teachers, because we have some crazy stuff happening here in our state right now. And our public schools are about to lose so many good teachers. They're just not, they're not coming back after the school year. They just won't be back. What school in like at the end of May, early June, after they're walking away. So that's just, you know, I'm just throwing that out there, FYI, for any of you guys that are teachers.
Blame them.
Right.
Yes, as I am currently the assistant clinical director for Agnes Scott College. When I tell you that is something that is so, we have these conversations, that is something that is so needed, that from the education standpoint, but also from the socializing standpoint, I can tell you so many stories. That's a conversation for another day, for another live.
Yeah, but
as the assistant clinical director, baby, it is so needed.
Yeah, I'm telling y'all, the opportunity is out there. Y'all just have to sometimes, what are you saying, Joseph? Being creative, thinking outside of the box. So you're looking at things that are, you know, our systems are changing rapidly in this country, but there's still an opportunity inside of the obstacle. You just have to look at how you position it. That's what. So shout out to all the teachers. Shout out to everybody that has their certifications and their licenses and things like that. But seriously, and anybody who is parents who are paying attention to what's happening in the world. If you teach Mandarin, baby, like stop playing. You're about to be in high demand to a certain echelon of people that have children. Because if I had a child, I would 100% want my child to learn Mandarin right now. Shoot, I regret that I didn't take Mandarin classes a few years ago. Maybe that's what I'd start doing as my next hobby, my next project I pick up.
And listen,
what
y'all just got that for free. Y'all just got that for free. A gym for free. She just gave it off the dome for free. If y'all, come on now.
Let me just say this, right? I always look for the angle because I'm like, the Bible says that God appoints all authority. So with Donald Trump in office, I always ask God, I say, God, I know you appointed this man for a reason. What's the reason? What is it that you want me to see? You don't want me complaining and murmuring. You didn't send Moses to complain to Pharaoh. You don't want me complaining, right? There is something, there's an angle that you gave me in all of this. What is it? You know what I mean? And sometimes we can't forget, those of us who are spiritual, right? Can't forget that God he loves us. And because he loves us, there's always an advantage that he's going to give us, right? There's an answer that something he's trying to show us. Look, I did this and this is why, right? Because he said, my thoughts are not your thoughts. My ways are not your ways. And he come back and say, my thoughts are higher than yours. My ways are higher than yours. We need to figure out what's that higher thought? What's that bigger thing? What's that deeper depth that he's trying to take us to, right? As I said before, I can have 99 problems. Money's not one, right? So God don't want us worried about those simple things because we're here to build and create and spread the message of love, right? That is the good news, right? That God gave everything for us to be okay. At the end of the day, I encourage everyone, find out what your purpose is and what God is telling you to do in this time, because he didn't create anything for your demise. He created it for your success, because he says, here are the thoughts that I have towards you, right? Thoughts of peace, thoughts of this and that and this and that, and they're all prosperous thought. So I take that. I appreciate you for having me on your panel. To everybody listening, y'all have a good night. I got to drive for another hour. I might shut this thing down, let my man take a leak, and then I'm going to go to sleep.
Sounds like a plan. I gave you a follow, Mr. Joseph, so you welcome back at any time. And then I saw somebody ask about heart. So according to TCM, your heart starts releasing or nourishing your body in between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. And this is when they recommend that it's time for like a little meal, or if you want to meditate or take a nap during those hours, but you should be like slowing down. That's the peak time for that. Your gallbladder though is like 10:30 to 1 a.m. and your liver is 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. So this is why you're not supposed to just be up every night if you can help it, according to TCM. So if y'all got a traditional Chinese medicine doctor around your way, you should definitely go and see them. I've learned so many things, and I started doing acupuncture as well. And I got a little cupping done, but I'm into it. And he gave me these little Chinese lady vitamins. They're great. They look like a little black peppercorn, but they smell like molasses, but they're fantastic. Where can I find this? You got to Google and see where you have one near you. I happen to have one pretty close to me that's really reputable, and I'm excited because I actually studied in China for like 30 years. But yeah, like there's, you'd be surprised. There's a lot of traditional Chinese medicine doctors all around. And a lot of times they're like kind of set up in the neighborhoods. What do you call those residential house businesses? Y'all know what I'm talking about? It looks like a home, but it's zoned for like a business or whatever. A lot of them, most of the offices I've seen, they're like in kind of spaces like that. But yeah, Google TCM doctor near me and see if you can find some near you. You said I have a bot? I probably do. Oh, side note, for all the people that are new to the kingdom, yeah, if a fake me follows you, just report them. TikTok knows this. They know that there's over like 100 fake accounts of me, and child, they just need to give me a blue check mark. So I ain't got to worry about this. But if they are following you or they're inboxing you and telling you, that they have like a crypto class for you, and what else do they try and sell? Real estate investments. They try and get money from y'all with like Bitcoin. They just outrageous. Okay, yeah, baby, just block them and report them. It's a lot of them.
You such of a model that they try to copy you, Hold on. What's going on around here?
No,
What's up with that, man?
I
They
don't.
try to mimic you, man.
I don't know. They just scammers be trying to scam and scheme, man. I was trying to scam.
They try to 2 or 3 of you.
The scammers never quit. They
Hey,
never
man.
quit. Like they never sleep. And let me tell you this. This is the thing that's crazy about scammers. They work so hard to scam them. Like, why not put that energy into a legitimate business? Because you would be crazy successful. Like setting up that, like going to those extents to scam, even the whole fake websites and stuff, y'all. They out of control.
I'm gonna tell you why they won't. Because I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. There's millions into scamming. Millions in scamming. It just is. You know, it as far as the market for scamming, there's money in it.
Oh, hey, you're right.
You would be surprised how many people fall for the tricks. Yeah,
People
it'll be here forever.
Because scammers just tell people what they want to hear. That's how they get them. Okay, y'all. So I went to healthline.com and they have a Chinese body clock chart if anybody wants to go and Google it. But yeah, it says your lungs are from 3 to 5 a.m. Large intestines is from 5 to 7 a.m. Spleen is from 9 to 11 a.m. 11 to 1. I just told you 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. is the heart. It says 1 to 3 p.m. is your small intestines. So, so that should be your heavier meal is what this says. So that'll be like your lunch, which makes sense because you should have like a light dinner. It's going to help your chi get up. Your bladder and your kidney is from 3 to 5 p.m. Let's see. 7 to 9 pericardium. That's the protector of your heart. Side note, if y'all want to know. It doesn't say what you should be doing during that time. There's just the time that it's doing its thing. I don't know what a triple burner is. I have to look that up. It says it refers to the organ system as a whole. And this is the period that's thought to be when it generates the most amount of heat. Okay, that's from 9 to 11 p.m. And then liver 1 to 3. So yeah, but it has it's a real cool clock, and it tells you, I guess, like what, like metal, wood, fire, water, and different things that you can be doing. So like at 2 p.m., it says since that's when the small intestine is working, so it's like, hey, that's a good time for a nap time. So if you're at 2 o'clock and you're feeling low energy, that's fine. Okay. Bladder 4 p.m. says your energy is supposed to be restored. That's a good time to work and study. So this is cool. It has like suggested times for working out and everything based on when the organs are doing. This is neat. So yeah, y'all go look that up for all of you guys. For all of you guys. I know that's very random. I'm so random, y'all. I'm so sorry. But yeah. So okay, Marsha, we're gonna talk on the back end, girl. And everybody, come to the workshop on Saturday. Go look at my bio. You'll see the buttons where you can register. I am gonna do a price increase tomorrow, just so I can kind of like control how many people in the room, because I try and answer all of y'all's questions during the workshop, and if we have too many people in there, we'll never get out. Also, excuse me, I'm sorry. Also. I just had a brain fart. It had something to do with one of the news updates. Anyway, it'll come back to me. In the meantime, like I said, y'all go stock up on important things. When you think about cleaning supplies, hygiene, water purification, seeds, dry goods, little things that you need. If you need like propane tanks for like your grills, charcoals, stuff like that, go ahead and get it popping with those sorts of types of things. And if you got a small space, look into aquaponics or into container gardening. I'm a big container gardener. Even though I got a yard, I just wanted to learn how to grow stuff in containers because it seemed like a useful thing to learn how to do. So all of that good stuff. And wash your hands, because there are different variations of COVID still flying around. People don't know that, okay? And so you need to be washing your hands. We don't want to get the sickness, okay? Outside of that, y'all, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with me. If it's morning time or daytime where you are, have a productive and a prosperous day. If it's evening time, get yourself a good night's rest, and I will see y'all later. Bye, everybody. And thank you, everybody who shared. Thank you, everybody who tapped the screen. Thank you, everybody that sent me a gift. I appreciate you guys very, very much. Thank y'all. Bye.